5 years. The annual service charge will go up from $475 to $875 by fiscal year 2030-31. The increase takes effect every year starting this July 1st. One of the two men shot and killed in East Bakersfield have been identified as 61-year-old Marcelino Rodriguez of Bakersfield. The Kern County Sheriff's deputies responded May 25th to the 5700 block of Eucalyptus Drive for two victims of a shooting. Anyone with information is asked to call the sheriff's office. The Torch Volleyball Club in Bakersfield is sending 3 girls teams to compete in the Nationals in June, all in the club's first year. The club has 6 teams with girls ranging in age from 10 to 18 years old. I'm Kim Gordon in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230
If only I could be with you.
To the rest, well, in a month from now, this Hollywood big shot's gonna give you what you want.
Too late. They start shooting in a week.
I'm gonna make him an offer again.
The Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you,
but I want you to know
tonight
that we as a people will get to the promised land. So I'm not worried about anything. I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
Now, the
Holy
host
Toledo.
you've been waiting all day for, live from the KERN studio. Here's Ralph Bailey.
Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good afternoon to you, wherever you may be, however you may be listening, or however you may be viewing for those subscribing on YouTube. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a Thursday, a weird, rainy, dreary Thursday. Do you know how difficult it was to get out of bed today? Days like this.
It didn't look like this when I woke up this morning. That's crazy.
That's what I'm saying. And I just had no motivation to go to work today. But nevertheless, I am here with an outstanding radio broadcast. There is a deal between Iran and the United States, and there is no deal between Iran and the United States. I'll explain in just a second. You will hear from Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary. The cabinet is rotating on taking Carolyn Leavitt's position as press secretary. She's on maternity leave. She just had her second child with her 59-year-old husband. Why would I mention her husband's age? Well, she's not even 30 yet, I don't think. Lucky man. So Scott Bessent, the gay Treasury Secretary, I mentioned that because that says a lot about Donald Trump, because Bessent, in my opinion, is one of the best cabinet members in this kooky cabinet of his. But nevertheless, he answered questions as press secretary today. You will hear from him on the war, on the ceasefire, on the tentative deal that many news organizations are reporting is just waiting an approval by either their folks or our folk, being obviously Donald Trump. And it's a Thursday, so our money man Daniel Petrie joins us at 4:30. Mr. Turnipseed will not be here for 2 weeks. And we're going to talk with Stephanie Peace from the Hey Delilah organization foundation. And they have a fundraiser coming up on Monday. It's a golf tournament that I'll be playing in. Ooh, just dawned on me. I'm playing golf Saturday, playing in the tournament with Mr. Swaim. It's a shamble. The front nine is a shamble, which is cool.
What's the difference between a shamble and a scramble?
A scramble is you play the best ball.
Okay.
So you and I are playing, and you hit a great shot, and I hit a bad shot. We play your shot.
Uh-huh.
We go to that shot. If you hit a better shot, we play your shot again.
Okay,
Whichever of the two of us.
Going.
But in a shamble, you play the best drive, and then you're on your own, as they used to say. You play your ball in.
Nice.
This plays money for me because my partner, Mr. Swaim, hits it about 270. So put away the 6 irons and the 5 irons and the 5 woods. I'm going to have 7 and 8 irons all day long. And Mark, and you would know this if you knew Mark, is plus 70. So he gets to play from the goals on the par 3s and the par 5s. So we're going to be reaching the par 5s and 2 because Mark can damn near reach the par 5s and 2 from the whites. And on some of those par 5s, there's like a 20-yard difference. Dude, I'm going to be hitting 3 woods in the 5 pars. So I'm playing that, and then I'm playing with the fellas on Sunday. I might not be able to play with them on Sunday because I forgot that I'm playing in the Hey There Delilah tournament on Monday out of the BCC. We'll talk with Stephanie Peace in the 5 o'clock hour, and we'll wrap up the broadcast with a little sports. What's his ERA now, Mr. Burdick? He gave up 1 run. He gave up no hits. I'm talking about 17. I'm not talking about the television station. I'm talking about Shohei Ohtani. Gave up no hits, 7 strikeouts in 6 innings pitched, gave up 1 run. Dude, it's like the best pitcher in baseball.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a stretch. That's a stretch. But he's what? He's not the top 10 pitchers in
He's
baseball?
top 10.
Top 5 pitchers in baseball? With
I'm just saying, my boy's runless all of May. So
I just, you talking about Skeens?
no.
Who's
Chris
talking?
Sanchez. So,
Oh, we see him later this week. Philly's coming.
I know that's the team I'm worrying about right now because he's literally run. He has not let up a run all of May.
Oh, we're gonna get him.
I know that's what worries me.
Have you matched up? Is he pitching during our series?
I think so because he just pitched yesterday against the Padres.
Oh, then we won't see him.
You won't see him.
No,
Oh no, yeah, because we got you guys starting up like here
tomorrow.
Yeah, no, yeah, he
Friday,
probably won't.
Saturday, Sunday.
Thank God. Oh, the streak continues. I want horse eyes.
And as a Dodger, I say thank God we don't get to see him. Good. We don't want to see him.
I want him to break Hershise's record. Okay,
That ain't happening, bro.
he's already at 44 and 2/3.
Is he
Hershise's
really?
at 50.
59, 58 and 2/3.
But yeah, it's something
like
that area. But
Yeah,
if he
it's upper
plays a
50s.
couple good games in June, he could catch it.
He's at 44 now.
He's at 44 too.
53. He needs 2 8-inning shutouts.
Yeah, which he can do.
God, he's lucky in playing us.
I
He's
know,
so lucky
exactly.
he's playing us. And there's bad news for Dodger fans as well. Kiki Hernandez is out with an oblique strain, and they're talking about 6 to 8 weeks. And who's our third baseman? The Hispanic kid.
Oh,
You know what I'm talking about?
I do, but I don't know his name. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't know his name, and you can't find it because we cut his ass because of Kike. So now Kike is distraught because they cut the kid. They didn't send him to Oklahoma City. They cut him. There's a phrase for it. It's like DF'd him, which I don't even.
Designated free agent.
Is that what it means? Oh, designated free
DFA.
agent, DFA. Yeah, they DFA'd him, which means you're no longer at the ball club.
Oh, you're
You'd rather,
go Espinal.
yes, yeah, we DFA'd him because of Kike, and then Kike comes back. The guy loses his job, and then Kike is back on the IL, which means they could have kept the kid, but now they've gotten rid of him. So we called up Alex Freeland,
Oh,
who has made a couple of plays for us, but that's just sad that a guy lost his job and didn't have to. And the Kike came back and was like, what was he, 4 for 4 since he came back from
yeah. I was like,
injury?
that's what I was just thinking.
It was like 4 for 4, and he said he felt it on the home run, and that's why athletes are their worst trainers. Athletes are the worst trainers because athletes, he probably screwed himself by instead of as soon as you feel something freaky as an athlete, you got to shut it down. But no alpha male does that. You're going to play, you're going to try to fight through it, and that just makes it worse. And so he might be out for 6 to 8 weeks. So that's unfortunate. And we'll wrap up the broadcast later in the 5 with the fact that Lynette Hooker is still missing. Who is Lynette Hooker? Remember the incident of Brian and Lynette Hooker? They were allegedly headed to their yacht. They were down in the Bahamas, and they were on a little skip going to their yacht, and it was a rough night. Why they're going to their yacht at night on a rough sea night, why she was driving when her daughter says she never either drove the yacht or the skip, never, ever, why she happened to be driving that night when she allegedly fell off the skiff and hasn't been seen since. And I told you guys, did I not? You know, I'm going to start biting myself. I'm going to start pulling my own audio because I think some of y'all don't believe me when I say, I told you so. But I told you, this guy's going to get away with this unless they find that body. And at this point, even if they find the body, it's so badly decomposed. But you know my theory. My theory is that woman's not even in the ocean. He killed that woman on land. She's buried somewhere in the Bahamas. He staged this whole, I'm going out to the skiff at 7:30, 8 o'clock at night on a rough sea night. He created that whole story, whacked her probably in the hotel room or something, buried her somewhere, created this story, and the Coast Guard just asked for permission to restart the investigation and search for her body. But if they don't find her body, and again, like I say, even if they find it at this point, that body is so badly, it's been like months. She's been missing as long as Nancy, what's her last name? Today Show. I'm losing it, y'all. Guthrie, Nancy Guthrie. She's been missing as long as Nancy Guthrie. So, but we begin with the situation with Iran and this tentative deal. Let's go ahead and take our first break of the day. I have rambled for so long. We'll come back and try to wrap this thing up before we get to the bottom of the hour, because I want to get into another gargantuan story that broke last night. The Sunday morning show has released the audio and video of Jill Biden. And I'm going to say this, I have no qualms with Jill Biden. She's a liar. She's a flat out liar. She either lied then or she's lying now. She's shilling a book. And, you know, that's why when everybody tells me, you got to write a book, Ralph. You got to write a book, Ralph. You don't understand. When you write a book, there's got to be something gargantuan in it to draw attention to the book. Unless you're George Culver and you've led an extraordinary life. George's book is selling like hotcakes, but everybody loves George and is interested in George. But outside of here, would anybody pick it up? You know what I'm saying? Unless he had gone on there and said that Richie Allen was a homosexual and I witnessed it. You know what I'm saying? It's got to have some kind of bombshell. Well, her bombshell was she literally thought her husband was dying the night of the debate. And I don't mean theatrically dying, which he was, obviously. But I mean, she actually thought he was dying. That's what she told the Sunday morning news on CBS. I thought he was having a stroke. And yet she cheered him on. And with Hunter, with all four of their hands, they kept pushing this old man out on the stage because it's pretty nice to live in the White House. It's really cool to ride an Air Force One. It's really nice to not have to deal with any traffic anywhere on the planet and to fly on that Air Force One. And you don't even get to drive to the damn airport. A helicopter takes you to the airport. It's good to be the first lady. And Jill loved it. So much so that she put her own damn husband in harm's way. It's the saddest story in the world. And now she's lying to sell a book. We'll get you through that when we come back. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a dreary Thursday, right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, where we stream live at KernRadio.com. And the Kern Radio studios are powered by Adaptive Networks. For all your IT needs, call the folks at Adaptive Networks at 661-241-0638 or hit them online at adaptive-net.com. Let's go, Mr. Burdick.
Kern Radio, News Talk,
Speaking of which, Adaptive.
KERN.
That's funny.
First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the First Look program, the latest on the craziest story to come down the pike in a while, where an Amazon driver stole somebody's cat. We're going to get one of the Money Wise guys on to explain to me how GameStop thought they could buy eBay, plus news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Yesterday, we had Jennifer and Ryan Van Alstyne live in studio, owner operators of Adaptive Networks, the IT team that powers Kern Radio. We've been teamed with them for months now because, as a radio station, we depend on our IT just to get our stuff on the air. But one of the things we were talking about was whether or not business leaders know whether they have holes in their IT, whether their IT is doing what it can do. That's why, if you're a serious business person that is concerned about your IT, you should call the folks at Adaptive Networks today at 661-241-0638. Just let them take a look. You'll be surprised at what you may not know. Let some experts who are reliable and competent take a look at your IT. Call them today, again, at 661-241-0638, or hit them online at adaptive-net.com.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day. No one can beat us, no one can touch us. You won't find better prices. Shop and compare, we don't care. Take a look our way and come into Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Carpet Outlet Plus is celebrating 30 years in business by offering you no interest financing for 12 months. Head over to carpetoutletplus.com to apply now. You can get new waterproof flooring and comfy carpet in the bedrooms, all from one trusted place. Over 70,000 customers can't be wrong. It's probably been time to change your floors for a while, so call, click, or stop by today. Carpet Outlet Plus, 3.5 blocks west of 99 on Rosedale Highway.
Carpet Outlet Plus. Every day is sale day.
Meet Paul Sheldon's client, Dr. Roland Rodriguez.
Hello, this is Bakersfield General Surgeon Dr. Roland Rodriguez, client and friend of Mr. Paul Sheldon. It is my great pleasure and privilege to relate to all of you my absolute exemplary experience with Team Paul Sheldon. I have also referred a number of my colleagues to Paul Sheldon's office, only to receive the most stellar feedback from my doctor friends regarding the office's expert navigation to the complex maze that is Medicare. And even though Paul Sheldon himself is now facing some temporary health challenges, his long-standing and most experienced and expertly trained team of ladies, Christine, Kelly, and Lynn, continue to masterfully guide the clients through the complicated world of Medicare. You most definitely could not possibly do any better than to reach out to Paul Sheldon several months before turning 65. Thank you.
When Medicare matters, our team has the answers. Team Paul Sheldon.
398-2298.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
So as I mentioned, as we opened the show, Secretary of the Treasury, Scott Bessent, took over the press secretary duties. Carolyn Levitt just had her second child. And so they've been rotating. I told you, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago. First it was Marco Rubio, then it was J.D. Vance. Now Scott Bessent. It'll be interesting to see who they go to next. I guess it'll be Doug Burgum. Speaking of the cabinet, God, I'm so stupid. On tomorrow, we are having the Secretary of the Agricultural Secretary, or Secretary of the Agriculture, Brooke Rollins is going to join us. We'll talk a little agriculture with the Secretary of Agriculture, one of the cabinet members. We're excited about that. Hope you'll tune in. Meantime, as I said, Mr. Bessent, Dr. Bessent, he got an honorary degree today. It was kind of funny. He made allusions to that. But he addressed the situation, talking first about the tentative deal that is clearly on the table and it's just awaiting either Trump to sign off on it or the Ayatollah. Here's Scott Bessent.
The teams have been going back and forth, and President Trump has made it very clear, he talked about it at the cabinet meeting, that he has several red lines. And Iran has to turn over their highly enriched uranium. They cannot pursue a nuclear weapon. And the Strait of Hormuz, back to your question on energy, has to free transit, navigation of the seas has to be free and open as it was before. So he's not going to take a bad deal. He's going to make a great deal for the American people.
So basically, the situation has been okay, that's on the table, but Trump hasn't signed off on it. And it includes a 60-day ceasefire and then talks about the uranium. And I don't know about y'all, but that's unacceptable for me. As I've said, I've supported what the president is doing. I just don't support how they've done it, how they did not plan for the Strait of Hormuz to be closed. I mean, a 10th grader could have figured that that would be the very single first thing the Iranians would do. And the fact that that was never even in the equation seems ridiculous to me. And the fact that there was never, ever a plan put together to get the uranium just is mind-boggling, to the point now where even Howard Marcus, our soon-to-be Tuesday regular, by the way, Howard's moving from Wednesdays to Tuesdays, even Howard said yesterday that without the uranium, Epic Fury is an abject failure. It's an absolute failure. And we lost 13 Americans for absolutely no reason. Meantime, this all comes after an exchange of strikes between the Iranians and the Americans. Iran fired ballistic missiles at the U.S. base in Kuwait, despite the fact that I thought that we had destroyed all their ballistic missiles, but apparently not. And it gets back to what I've talked about every single day. You got to play it straight. You can't lie during a war. You can't say we've obliterated them and all of a sudden they're firing off missiles or knocking down F-15s. Remember the day they knocked down the F-15 and somebody texted in here literally and said, well, you know, Ralph, that's not one of our fastest jets. An F-15? Are you kidding me? You've got to play this straight. Meantime, talking about playing it straight, Scott Bessent was also asked about the ceasefire. How can there be a ceasefire when these two countries are exchanging fire?
With the Iranian government, we did not have regime change, but we changed the regime. As President Trump said at the cabinet meeting, as we've said other times, the first layer of leadership was eliminated, the second layer, and we're now at the third layer. And the way to think about it is the Iranian government, such as it is three pillars. It is the elected government, it is the IRGC, and it is the clerics. And they are having trouble communicating. So we are being patient. We do not have unlimited patience. President Trump always prefers a peace deal. So everything we have done thus far has been defensive. And at present, that is what we will continue doing. But if President Trump doesn't think he can get a peace deal, then kinetic is back.
The bombing begins again. And as I've told you, the bombing's not going to start again. I don't think that's an option right now for the president. I really don't. Because if I'm smart enough to figure out that if even 10 more body bags come home, we're at 67% disapproval of this situation. I don't know if you're aware of that. 67%. Almost 7 out of 10 Americans think this is a mistake. Now, is it fair? Probably not. But we're shell-shocked as a country. After the years in Afghanistan, after the years in Iraq, after the years in Vietnam. The president talked about it in his meeting yesterday, in his cabinet meeting. You know, they're giving me a couple of months. Hell, we were in Vietnam for what, 19, almost 20 years? How long were we in Iraq? How long were we in Afghanistan? And they're giving me 3 months. He's right. But we are a shell-shocked nation. And that's one of the reasons that boots on the ground is just absolutely unacceptable to this nation right now. And so if there were 10, 15, 20 new casualties, new deaths, the approval rating of this thing would be at nil. So there will be no bombing. I can almost guarantee you that. There'll be no more bombing. They're going to extend this. They're essentially both doing the same thing. They're extending it and extending it and extending it until they can figure out a way to either keep their uranium or we're trying to figure out a way to get their uranium. That's basically the stalemate of this thing. Meantime, one of the things that I errantly missed yesterday in the news conference was the president talking about blowing up Oman. Because apparently there were some talks of Oman having some role in Iran. And he was asked about that. He said, well, we blow them out of the water as well. We've had a 200-year great relationship with Oman. Now the president is putting that in jeopardy. Scott Bessent had to deal with that as well.
President Trump said, Oman will behave just like everybody else, or we will have to blow them up. Are you guys back there in the West Wing making plans for a new war with Oman?
Again, I think the president wanted to punctuate freedom of navigation in the strait. I had a call with the Omani ambassador this morning, and he assured me that there were no plans for tolling the strait. As he said, our countries have had 200 years of good relations. He wants to have another 200 more. And I told him that this was a non-starter, and he did not want to risk either the Omani individuals or Omani financial institutions getting sanctioned.
So basically, Scott Bessent had to go back and clean up the president's mess. 200 years of a great relationship with this country. And our leader says from Camp David, I don't think it was at Camp David. We ever figure that out? Was it at Camp David?
I don't think it
Or
was.
was it at the White House? Wherever he was, it was in Virginia or at the White House. Said that we'll blow them up too. You got to play it straight. You can't say campaign wild, crazy things like that. Oman is like, what do we do? For 2 centuries, we've been getting along with you guys great. And now you want to blow us up? What are we, Greenland? What are we, Cuba? If you all can make sense of this, explain it to me. Maybe you can bring me to your side that everything that this man is doing is just spot on. Quick timeout for TRBS. I'd stick around if I you. Is it raining?
Kern Radio,
Can't even get it.
News Talk
Yeah.
96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Tensions are still high in the Middle East, even after word that a deal with the U.S. may have been
it
reached,
is. It's coming.
something Iran did not immediately
Yeah, it's raining a
confirm.
little bit.
The deal is still pending with President Trump's approval. Ukrainian President Zelensky pressuring the U.S. for more Patriot air defense missiles to counter Russian attacks. He sent a letter to President Trump and Congress early this week, but has not received a reply. Authorities have resumed the painstaking search for 9 workers feared dead at a Washington state paper mill. The deadly chemical tank ruptured at the Nippon Dynaway Packaging Company. It devastated the city of Longview. 11 people presumed dead. Game 6 of the NBA Western Conference Finals tonight in San Antonio. The Thunder lead the Spurs 3-2. This is SRN News.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. Headlines from the KERN newsroom.
I'm Kim Gordon. With Election Day just under a week away, the Kern County Election Office wants to make sure your votes are counted. Mail-in ballots can be mailed in, dropped off at an official drop box, or delivered in person on Election Day at any polling site. You can also cast a ballot in person on Election Day, June 2nd. The California Highway Patrol in Bakersfield says 32 people were arrested for DUI and more than 500 citations were issued over the Memorial Day holiday. That includes 262 tickets for speeding. The Torch Volleyball Club in Bakersfield is sending 3 girls teams to compete in the Nationals in June, all in the club's first year. KGET reports the club has 6 teams with girls ranging in age from 10 to 18 years old. I'm Kim Gordon in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
It's that man again, Ralph Bailey for Sangera Subaru, and summer has arrived, and it's time to plan the summer road trip. And what better car to do it in than a brand new Subaru? And if you want something sporty and comfortable, then the choice is clear. The Outback. And now, through June 1st, lease a 2026 Outback Premium CVT for only $229 a month for 36 months and just $5,000 due at signing. Plus, every Subaru comes standard with symmetrical all-wheel drive. However, offer ends June 1st. So stop by, see my dear friends Damon Culbertson and Hassan Levy, and test drive a brand new Outback today. Sangera Subaru, paving the way for a better community. 5500 Gasoline Alley Drive in the Bakersfield Auto Mall.
Lease a 2026 Subaru Outback Premium CVT with TSRP $37,158, $229 per month plus tax for 36 months. Total lease payment $8,836, $5,021 total due at lease signing. Total lease cost $13,857. No security deposit. Lease based on 7,500 miles per year, 15 cents per mile over. Available to qualified customers through Subaru Motor Finance. On approved credit expires 6/126. Excludes optional equipment and dealer installed accessories. VIN number TY462135.
First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the First Look program, the latest on the craziest story to come down the pike in a while, where an Amazon driver stole somebody's cat. We're going to get one of the money wise guys on to explain to me how GameStop thought they could buy eBay, plus news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show.
starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Just about to lose my mind, honey, honey, yeah. Won't you be my baby? So Jill Biden is trying to sell a book, and she'll sell her husband down the road to do it. This is one of the most remarkable stories because this is dangerous. When people are so swept up in power and the accoutrements, the wife or related to the leader of the free world, I don't even know where to begin. So many different layers. Let's start with the interview itself. She was on Sunday Morning News, and it's an absolute revelation. But again, remember, she's trying to sell a book. Here's what she said. I'm sure most of you by now have heard it.
Were you horrified as you saw it unfold? I wasn't horrified, I was frightened because I had never, ever seen Joe like that before or since.
Stop. I've never seen Joe like that before or since. Let's just tackle that first, shall we? Let's go back now and remember how the Biden presidency unraveled. And there was one celebrity who cracked the dam. Mr. Burdick, do you remember who that celebrity was?
Mr. Clooney.
George Clooney put on a Los Angeles fundraiser for Joe Biden. George put it on, where he invited Obama, who had to help Joe off the stage, as you remember, and every A-list celebrity that showed up. And according to Mr. Clooney, and I give him credit as a liberal Democrat for being one of the few that was honest, excuse me. He's one of the few because he came out and said, the man didn't know who I was. And he didn't mean that in the celebrity, don't you know who I am? No, they were friends. George put on the fundraiser for Joe, and Joe didn't recognize him. Like, didn't you watch ER when you were sane? Don't you know who this man? And he's a friend of yours. So for Jill Biden to say she never saw him like that before or since is a lie. There was the incident at Normandy when he wandered off. You remember that? There was the incident where they were having, it was a Juneteenth event. So it was a bunch of black folks. And black folks got rhythm. And everybody's dancing. And Joe literally looked like the Statue of Liberty. He's just standing there smiling. I mean, you could even George Bush, even Donald was able, he is standing there like a statue. And then that infamous night where Clooney had to rat him out, that he didn't recognize me. And if you go back and watch that video, you just see how debilitated he is because Obama is doing what politicians do at the end of the night. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, how you doing? Good to see you. All right. Okay. And he looks over and Joe's standing there. He's doing the Juneteenth thing. And Obama literally has to go across the stage and be like, Joe, say goodbye to the people. Come on, let's get off the stage now. And walk him off the stage. Go back and look at it if you think I'm making this up. So for her to say, I've never seen him like that before or since, is a obvious lie. An absolute lie. For reasons I don't understand. It makes me wonder whether she even loves this man. Because I couldn't put my father through that. I could not ever put my dad through that and watch him stumble and bumble around like that. Why? So I could ride on Air Force One? So I could live in the White House? No. To humiliate my dad like that? And this is her husband. Let's finish the interview.
Or since. Never.
Or since.
Yes. Or
You've
since.
never seen him like
Never.
that.
No. What happened? I don't know what happened. I mean, as I watched it, I thought, oh my God, he's having a stroke. And it scared me to death.
She literally thought her husband was dying. Now, let me get to the second layer. I'll get back to Jill in just a second, but let me get to the second layer of this story as a former journalist. I have to say that now because one of the listeners dragged me for calling myself a journalist since I'm an opinion maker, but I still consider myself a journalist, but I'll say former journalist. As a former journalist, let me use an analogy. It's a little wacky, but you know it's me, so stay with me on this. There's a scene in The Caine Mutiny. The Caine Mutiny is a film about Humphrey Bogart going nutsy cuckoo as the captain and Van Johnson as the first officer having to take over in the middle of a storm. And now they have to prosecute him. And Jose Ferrer is the prosecutor or the defense because Van Johnson's been accused. Stay with me, I'm serious. Van Johnson's been accused of mutiny. So Jose Ferrer has to defend him. And to defend him, he's got to prove that the captain is nutsy cuckoo. So before he starts, the admiral, which is the jury of officers of the Navy, obviously, tells him, Jose Ferrer, be careful now. You're still dealing with a captain in the United States Navy. And Jose Ferrer says, look, I'm not going to challenge his courage. I'm not going to challenge his competence because by definition, he's a Navy captain, which means he's courageous, he's competent, and he's smart. I'm not going to challenge that. I think he's nutsy cuckoo. Stay with me. The woman that interviewed Jill Biden works for CBS, a national news organization, which means she started as an intern at some small place in Poughkeepsie, and she's made it to the national level. She's made it as high as you can make it in her field. She is a competent journalist. And yet, when Jill Biden says, I thought he was dying on the stage, I thought he was having a stroke, I was scared to death, she never asks, then why did you lie? Jill, why did you lie? Why did you act? First, before I get to that, let's play the post-debate cheerleading by Jill Biden.
Joe, you did such a great job. You answered every question. You knew all the And let me ask the crowd, what did Trump do? Why?
So again, this is a CBS national level reporter who knew about that, knew that Jill Biden was the biggest cheerleader after the debate, but now we find out that that cheerleading was all a fake. It was all just a joke. It was all just her heart was pounding because she just thought her husband was going to die on stage. And that national reporter did not ask her, then why did you lie? Why did you get up on that stage and tell your husband how well he did? Why didn't you pull him off to the side and say, hey, maybe we should go back to Delaware? You've had one great success. You defeated Donald Trump. You finally, after decades, got to where you wanted to be since you were 35 years old, the presidency of the United States. Let's just go home and raise our grandkids. But no, you didn't do that, Dr. Biden. You pushed him back out there. And this national level, competent, intelligent reporter didn't have the nads to ask them, which again manifests the obvious left-wing leanings of national reporters. Because anybody at 17, 29, or 23 would have had the competence after she said, I thought he was going to have a stroke. Every reporter on this country would have been like, well, wait a minute, though. You let him continue to go after the hardest job on the planet after, 30 minutes after your heart must have been beating at 130 beats a minute. You said you did a great job, Joe, and you answered all the questions. Why did you lie? But no, she doesn't ask that, does she? She doesn't ask that. And it just absolutely highlights If she's not incompetent, then she has to be on the team. It's like I said, a Arizona State student straight out of commencement, out of journalism school, would know, well, wait a minute, Miss Biden, there's kind of a problem here. On one hand, you said, I thought he was going to stroke out. And the next minute you were saying, but we're going to Pennsylvania tomorrow because we got a campaign event. It just doesn't size up, does it? It just doesn't size up. And it's so sad because you know who's the victim? Poor Joe. Poor Joe. One final before we take a break. Let's hear from Bill Maher. This is interesting. I found this just pure dumb luck. This is the night after the debate. And listen to what this is why I love Bill Maher. Listen to this. This is a little long, but I don't mind. Let's listen to this.
Yeah, I don't want to show a lot of the tape from last night because it's too hard to look at. But just show this one thing. We picked out one thing. Just for people who don't watch, and they watch this show to catch up on the news, this is what the Republicans are going to show from now until Election Day.
Making sure that we're able to make every single solitary person eligible for what I've been able to do with the COVID. Excuse me, with dealing with everything we have to do with.
See that head?
Look, if we finally beat Medicare.
Thank you, President Biden. President Trump?
Well, he's right. He did beat Medicare. He beat it to death.
You see the head, the way he turned that head? He wanted he knew the two-shot would be up there. He wanted to have his head turning like, let's watch the guy show how crazy he is. He's looking for it. Like this election.
You're blaming that on Trump?
No, I'm watching his theatrical ability. He is playing this.
Okay, but he didn't have to do anything. I mean, he came in, it reminded me of when Mike Tyson used to knock guys out in 90 seconds. Like, that was like 2 minutes into the debate, and I went, oh, this election is over. I mean, that was like a haymaker, right?
Look, I'm watching the guy. He is so fast on the trigger. I watched him. He comes up with, he pulled out of Afghanistan in a disastrous way. That's true. He didn't fire anybody. He didn't fire Jake Tapper or any of the generals. That's all true. Then he'll throw in, oh, by the way, illegal people can get Medicare and Social Security. No, they can't. He just throws in the lies. He mixes up the lies with some truth. Yeah. And then Biden is not smart enough to keep up with him. He just can't keep up with him.
Well, isn't that the whole point?
Yeah.
You need a guy to keep up with them. I mean, I feel like the whole rationale for Biden running has always been, I'm the only guy who can beat him.
Yeah.
Now I think it's inverted. I think he's the only guy who can lose to him.
I think you're right.
Or the guy who's, sure. Oh, you agree? So shouldn't they replace him?
I'm talking about when it has to happen, but probably won't. When you want to happen, won't happen.
I don't know. You know, I keep hearing all day from these Democrats defending this, like, we can't abandon Joe Biden. What about me? I feel abandoned. I feel abandoned. I have nobody to vote for.
That's telling. And yet they kept pushing him out there. We forget, or at least I did. I don't know about y'all, but I forgot just how bad that was. And that's when the election was over. They lost the election that night. And their only hope would have been to have had a primary where Josh Shapiro would have probably been elected and they would have had a shot at beating Trump. But with Kamala Harris, and there's some recent numbers that have nothing to do with this, but that have to do with Kamala and Gavin Newsom not doing well presidentially, but that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. But I just think this thing is, this is one of the great lies in American history, and it'll go down. This will be compared to Woodrow Wilson, who had a stroke, and Mrs. Wilson basically ran the country for a while, and we didn't know it till after the fact. And that's what this is all about. If he can't speak, then who was running the country? You know, and then we get in this auto pen thing, and that is one of the true controversies that the Trump administration has brought up that is viable, that should be investigated. Who the hell was using that auto pen? Because this guy couldn't complete a sentence. And for Jill Biden now to use her experience to sell a book and to use the drama of his demise as the attraction for the book. When is enough money enough? You know what I'm saying? When is enough attention enough? Jill, just go back to Delaware and live your life and raise your grandchildren. Why at their age would you want to be running around the country going to Dallas and Houston and Fort Worth and Tyler and then to Louisiana and selling this book at your age? Don't you have enough money? Don't you have enough prominence? Don't you have enough attention at long last? Can't you just do Douglas MacArthur and just fade away? But no. Some people get a taste of this stuff. I know you're going to like this comparison, but Michelle Obama is the exact opposite. Michelle Obama doesn't want any attention. She'd never, that's why when everybody was talking about, when JR was pumping up that Michelle Obama was going to run, I was like, there ain't no way in the world. Because she felt like the White House was a prison. And yet there's some people that absolutely eat it up like tapioca pudding, and Jill Biden is apparently one of those. I wouldn't be surprised if she tried to start a Hunter Biden for president deal, or maybe even have her husband run again. Maybe they think they could do the Trump. I don't know. It wouldn't shock me at all, because they have no shame, and this is a betrayal to her husband is what this is. It truly is, and it's a conspiracy that is one of the biggest in history, because we had a president who could not run our country for months, and we need to find out then who was running this country, because it wasn't Sleepy Joe, it wasn't Uncle Fluffy. It was not Joseph Biden. Let's go ahead and take a break. I have aired yet again, as I am wont to do on a daily.
I was so shocked right now.
Yeah, I can blame you. It's Burdick's fault.
Oh, that's my fault?
It's Burdick's fault. I asked you yesterday during the show, are we having Mr. Turnip Seed? And you said no.
You said, didn't he say that he's going on vacation next week?
And then
I do remember him mentioning the vacation.
And thank you. You confirmed it.
Yes, no, he did mention the vacation.
Turn the camera around.
But Mr. Turnipseed just told me exactly why. So, really, we're turning the camera on, brother. Really? Don't you walk away? You're gonna have to turn it back.
There's your culprit right there, Jack.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Oh, you look like a ghost in the glass. You can't even see it. You can see me. Hi, guys.
The reflection is so great. You can see you in.
Hi, guys. Quick time out. Hey, guess what? Michael Turnipseed at the top of the hour. That's a good thing, because I didn't even have the sewer thing on my rundown today. We can talk about that with Mr. Turnipseed at the top of the hour. Don't go anywhere. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 at AM 1230. We're streaming live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, mornings 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the First Look program, the latest on the craziest story to come down the pike in a while, where an Amazon driver stole somebody's cat. We're going to get one of the Money Wise guys on to explain to me how GameStop thought they could buy eBay, plus news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Was at Lawson's last night and ran into Julie Escalante, bartender extraordinaire at Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen. And I know everybody knows Julie. She's been in the bar for years now. And of course, don't forget about the Bailey Bar outside. It's a great venue. But again, what can I tell you about Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen that you don't already know? You all voted them in the most recent Bakersfield, California poll. Just about best everything. They got best restaurant, best steak, best everything. And of course, they're one of the most iconic restaurants in Kern County, if not the single most iconic restaurant, being in business for 116 years. In fact, if you've been on the internet, there's a reel from a woman who went down to Beverly Hills, and one of the Beverly Hills waitresses knew about Luigi's and talked about the great food she had when she was visiting Bakersfield. Where would you rather be than at Luigi's Restaurant and Old World Delicatessen, longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show?
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the relief hotline at 800-525-9069. 800-525-9069. 800-525-9069.
That's when I hit it fast.
Supervisor Jeff Flores here. I'm proud of what we've accomplished together for Kern County. We've completed over 75 miles of new roads, as well as major road repairs, improving safety and traffic flow. We've opened a new facility on Roberts Lane that has captured 7 million pounds of bulky waste from our streets, completed major upgrades at Sandlin Ballpark and Hart Park, where a water splash pad is now under construction. And when you asked for stronger public safety, I listened and took action. We filled more than 200 new deputies and counting.
I'm Sheriff Donnie Youngblood. I've watched Jeff prove himself from day one, especially his commitment to public safety. Jeff listens and follows through. Our county is better for it. Please join me in voting for Jeff Flores.
I'm proud of the real progress we've made, but there's more work to do. I will continue fighting for a safer, stronger Kern County. I'm Jeff Flores, and I'd be honored to have your vote. Ad paid for by Jeff Flores for Supervisor 2026.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening.
To KERN. Let's get a couple of text messages before we talk to the vacationing Mike Turnipseed, who's not on vacation.
Let's see. You ever wonder how much money countries like Oman have invested in the United States?
Hundreds of millions, I'm sure. I don't know where that came up. I mean, I know Oman was in our bites, and we threatened to destroy them despite a 200-year great relationship, but Mr. Besson cleaned that up pretty good. What else you got?
Ralph, the Dodgers had to DFA the kid because when Kike came back, they wanted to send him to AAA, but he refused and demanded a trade, so they had to get rid of him.
Oh, is that right?
That makes sense.
Dude, you can't demand a trade. I can understand not wanting to go back to Oklahoma City and hit brown baseballs and ride on a bus, but dude, who do you think you are? You're going to come to Mark Walter. You're going to come to the Guggenheims. You're going to come to Andrew Friedman and Stan Kasten and demand a trade? You're not hitting 240. You're going to demand a trade? Get the hell out of Elysian Park. Get out of Echo Park. Get out of LA County. I don't even feel bad for the kid now. We should have DFA'd his ass. Demanded a trade. Dude, please. Now he's washing cars somewhere or teaching high school baseball. One more.
Ralph, poor Joe. No, Ralph, poor America and poor American citizens.
You're right. We got cheated. And now I think that this revelation, it's just like the January 6th thing. It's just why would you want what? You should never look back. If there's a lesson from all of this is that you should never look back. I didn't mention, but coming up at the bottom of the hour, or at some point, since I overbooked the show, but we're going to talk about this E. Jean Carroll lawsuit. That the DOJ is going after E. Jean Carroll because the Trump administration is saying that she lied during her deposition, during a civil deposition. And it's like, Even if she did, which apparently she did not, why would you want to go back and bring that up? Why would the President of the United States want to bring up the fact that he was found liable for sexually assaulting this woman? And then when he went out in public and said that she was lying about it, she sued him for defamation and won $83 million. Why would you want to bring that back up? Why would Jill Biden want to bring up that infamous night in Atlanta? Why would they want to bring up the January 6th thing with this fund? Leave the skeletons in the closet and move forward. Good. Googly, moogly. One more. You got one more.
That's all we got right now.
All right. Mr. Turnipseed is here. We're going to talk with him about the sewer rates. They had a big city council meeting last night. And as expected, it's coming out of your pocket. We'll talk about that with Mr. Turnipseed. Bottom of the hour, our money man, Daniel Petrie, will join us. We'll talk about the fact that inflation has jumped. And we'll talk about the new bill. No, not legislation. Donald Trump and his administration is talking about creating a $250 bill. And guess who's going to be on the face? You guessed it. People are not even eating properly because of money, but we're going to make a $250 bill. This man is tone deaf.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN, 96.1 FM, Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. In Dubai, United Arab Emirates, there's good news regarding the war with Iran.
U.S. and Iranian negotiators have reached what appears to be a tentative deal on extending this ceasefire by 60 days. As part of the deal that still hasn't been signed off by President Trump, it would extend the ceasefire by 60 days. It calls for opening the Strait of Hormuz and a demining of the Strait of Hormuz. And in that 60-day period, the U.S. and Iran would also begin negotiations on Iran's nuclear program.
That's correspondent Abhi Madhati. And plans for the Gaza International Stabilization Force are in question as troop pledges stall.
An international stabilization force promise for Gaza has yet to materialize 3 months after it was announced at an event hosted by President Donald Trump. None of the 5 countries that pledged troops have come through with any significant contribution. Efforts to shore up the fragile ceasefire has stalled as Hamas has refused to disarm. Israel has seized more territory while continuing to strike what it says are military targets. The Iran war has meanwhile made it more difficult for Arab and Muslim leaders to openly cooperate with the United States and Israel. And the resulting global energy crisis has sapped their resources. Bernie Bennett, Washington.
PNC chief economist Gus Fauché says, while the Commerce Department reports inflation increased 3.8% in April from a year ago, the biggest increase in 3 years, consumer spending has also been gradually increasing.
There are more pressures on consumers with higher energy prices and the softer labor market. In fact, once we adjust for inflation, income's down about 1% over the past year.
Hollywood Big Shot's gonna give you what you want. Too late. They start shooting in a week. I'm gonna make them an offer again.
The Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Hour 2 of the broadcast on this rainy Thursday. If you're stuck in your office, you haven't looked outside, it's drizzling. I don't know if I'd call it rain, but it's a little slick out there, so be careful if you're driving around. We still got lots to do in the final 2 hours of the broadcast. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, our money man, Daniel Petrie, will join us. Be interesting to talk with Daniel. Talk about the $250 bill that the Trump administration is talking about creating. Like, what? A $250 bill? Really? Okay. And inflation rose just a little bit. We'll talk about that. But the S&P is doing well, and gas prices are going down in connection with this tentative deal with the Iranians and the United States of America. We'll get into that. Then we'll meet Stephanie Peace. Well, you'll meet Stephanie Peace. I know Stephanie Peace. With the Hey There Delilah Foundation. They've got a golf tournament going on Monday that I'll be playing in. So be kind to guest host Kathy Abernathy on Monday. But it is a Thursday. And as those who are viewing on YouTube can see, Michael Turnipseed is indeed live in studio.
Thank
Hi,
you,
Mike.
Ralph.
Didn't expect to see you today.
Well, miscommunication, I guess.
Clearly.
I gave you plenty of notice, so you.
My producer dropped the ball.
Chris,
where's the charger?
Take him off, cut him off. It'll be the Mike Turnipseed show. There you go.
Yeah, he could turn my mic. Where's the charger? Please put a charger right there. No, well, my personal issues can wait. So you watched the city council meeting last night. I did not. Tell us all about it.
Yes, I did.
Our sewer rates.
The
will
sewer
go up.
rates, the die has been cast for 5 years. Or a framework has been cast for 5 years.
Was this the smart play? Was this the only play, as they will insist it was?
Yes, because the reality is, and while they tell us, oh, our credit's fine, our bonding ability is fine, they really don't have the ability to issue bonds and solve the problem. They need to build up cash reserves again because they spent the last 20, 30 years living on reserves and not maintaining infrastructure. And it basically has come back to bite not only the council in the rear end, but all the people have to pay for it.
Yeah.
But the good thing is it's not $900 like they proposed originally and voted within 2 days saying, we'll change it.
What is it, 6 change?
No, it's...
I thought it was 6 change.
I thought
600 something.
Maybe. I don't remember the exact number now because I had so many numbers going. But the idea is it is still significantly less than it was. But I'm now interested because there was a push. The city co-members of the city council want to set up a fund for fixed income and low income families to get a certain amount of money against their sewer bill. And the city doesn't have any money. If they're going to they're either going to have to take reserves to do it, which is not a prudent thing to do, but we have vacant positions we're eliminating in the police department, in the fire department, across the city. They are in a structural problem, and to think that this is a good way to. I understand the problem, but the councils for the last 30 years, plural, going back 30 years, have not maintained the city's infrastructure properly.
Let me stop you right there. Average rates for a single-family home will increase from the current $247 annually to $475 for the 26-27 fiscal year. Rates will then increase by $100 annually for the next 4 years before reaching $875.
Yes.
Wow.
So there's 200 this jump instead of going all the way to 900 in one jump. So that's a significant difference. And what's going to happen, I think, because I'm reading the tea leaves in the language from staff anyway, as much as the finance director is anti-debt and everybody's anti-debt, but I almost want to ask him, next time I see him, I'm going to say, Randy, do you have a mortgage on your house? People who make big capital expenditures borrow money. You're buying an asset.
Right.
If you're adding to your sewer and you're adding more capacity, you're doing it, that's an asset. It's not an operational cost, it's an investment cost. And most people pay for investments over time because of cash flow. And the whole idea of managing cash flow is you don't have to pay all this money at one time. You spread your payments out and there are interest costs. But when you also look, what they don't ever talk about is the fact that they're going to pay 4.5% interest. But these projects that you could build today are 8% cheaper today than they'll be next year, and then 16%. 3 years from now, it'll cost 24, 25, 30% more than it does today. So you're saving money by bonding it and do it faster.
Why didn't they do that?
Because right now, I don't think they don't have the capacity. They don't have.
They
don't have $15 million laying around that they can just put away in a piggy bank, because they'd have to, depending on how much they do, how much they bond, your first annual payment, whatever that is, what your annual payments become over time, 1.45%. So if your annual payment is 10 million, you got to put 15 million in the bank. If it's 20 million, you got to put 30 million in the bank. And it's there to make the payment because of the tax collection thing, because the county only, I don't know how it works. It's not like you pay your taxes in November and April. They collect it, they do it, they pay your bond. That's kind of how it works. So you just have to have money put away to address that. And currently they didn't have the money to do that. So, and that's just
because they squandered. Yeah, and they squandered the Measure N money as well.
Well, you cannot use Measure N money for sewers, supposedly.
Why not?
Because sewers are called an enterprise fund. Enterprise fund is a separate budget within the city to itself. It has to be self-sustainable. You cannot take general fund money, Measure N money, or other funds and put it in. The law requires it to be. Sewers have to pay for sewers. That's it. It's called garbage. The garbage is another fund the city has.
Right.
You have a garbage fund. It has to live on the rates that it collects from the customers that have the benefit.
This was met with great consternation, I'm assuming, by people that spoke to the council yesterday.
Well, yes, there were a few. Everybody spoke that was against it. I was surprised, though, actually. They had 1,000 people vote out of 100,000 people they mailed out to.
Yeah.
Only 1% of the people took time to fill out the paper.
We tried to tell them it was coming. And what was the response of the 1,000?
Oh, like probably 99%.
Yeah, that's what I figured. That's what I figured.
They announced it all last night, but I wasn't taking notes. But
did Montpre Core, and her name is pronounced Core for other folks that work on this radio station. It's pronounced Core.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how some people don't know how to pronounce her last name, but nevertheless. Did she vote for this just politically? She voted no.
She voted no.
She did that because she's running.
She's running, and
it was an inconsequential vote. So why not vote no and be able to take that to her constituents? I'm fighting for you.
Well,
if she's not running for that 16th Senate race, she votes yes. Do you agree with that? Or
No.
you don't think
Because
so?
She's from the beginning was the biggest advocate of having a relief fund set up for low income and fixed income people. And that's not part of the motion they had on the table last night. So that's why she voted no. She made it clear. She wants a $5 to $10 million put away to make subsidized payments of low income and fixed income people.
As opposed to our infrastructure.
She wants to have a plan to subsidize their rates, yes. And she voted no because of that. But also, she got a free pass.
But doesn't have an answer for our sewer situation, though.
But it didn't matter because everybody else was going to vote for it. So it was
Well,
passed.
that's what I asked. It's an inconsequential vote. So
She and Ken Weir are holding hands.
But you're giving us two different messages. You're saying no, she didn't vote because it was inconsequential, and she could vote no without disturbing the vote. And at the same time, you're saying, well, she voted because she wanted something else. Which one is it?
She wanted both. She got a free
You can't have
pass.
both.
Yes, you can have both.
No, you can't.
First of all, she knew that 5 people. She knew Weir was going to vote against it.
She knew it was going to pass.
She knew it was
So why
going to
not do the
pass.
Rudy Salas, which Rudy used to do when he'd go up to Sacramento and vote no against a gas tax, and he could come back here and say what a hero he was because he knew it was an inconsequential vote and would have any fact on the referendum itself.
That's right. But that's from the beginning. She made it clear she would not vote for anything that didn't have a plan to help subsidize low-income people. That was back when it was going to $900.
Right.
So to me, that diminished, and she should have voted yes, I would think, because it was a proper thing to do. But she got a pass. People do that from time to time.
Yeah, smart politics.
She's trying.
Smart politics. It really is. What else is going on? Anything else?
Well, so the question is now, if you watch city council meeting, which I don't know how many people actually watch city council meetings.
I can't do it. You're a better man than I, Gunga Din.
Well, I'd rather sit on my couch at home watching it than sitting in the chambers.
Yeah, no, I can't do it. I covered city council, and nope, I'm not doing it.
I talked to a reporter this morning, and he said 3 hours last night. One I hadn't seen from ever sitting in there before. He goes, "Are they all like that?" And I said, "No, they're all not like that." But I said, in the old days, they used to go to midnight. 20, 30 years ago, they were midnight, 2 o'clock in the morning.
I remember doing live shots from downtown because I was like, I can't come back. And they're like, well, just stay there. We'll send the live truck. And we would do live shots instead.
But for people who are out there, and they probably 80% who are against this, they have to decide, because you're going to have four. This is the big year for election because you have 4 people up. You have Andre, who might be a vacancy anyway. You've got
Ken Weir,
Bob
Smith, and Montpreet Kaur.
Kaur.
That's how she pronounces her name.
Kaur.
C-O-R-E. Not everybody on this radio station is aware of that.
Too, probably. So those are 4 vacancies, I think. And is there another one?
No.
Anyway.
Arias is solid. He's not going anywhere yet, right? And who's the other one?
Tash and Kaur got elected last time.
Yeah.
So anyway,
and Larry Coleman's not going anywhere, right? He just got elected.
He got elected
2 years ago.
Kaur got elected. There he goes.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't follow city. I live in the county anyway. But the idea is, if people complain, and the people got up there were very angry, and the only way you change the game is change the players,
Yeah.
And you do that through elections. And with 4 seats, that's the majority of the council. If you like the way the city's being run, you vote for the incumbents. If you don't like, then you do something else. It's every voter gets that choice in America. We get to go to the ballot box and make that decision.
Yeah, but we live in Bakersfield, which is one of those disengaged, not involved communities in America. Now, we are all engaged in charities. This is the most charitable city in the country. I believe that. I truly, honestly believe that. But in terms of getting engaged in municipal government or even county government, there's a small group of wackadoos that are involved, the David Abbasis, the Julie Solises, those people that kind of monitor it, that little 5-7% of wackadoos. And then there's about 3 to 5% Mike Turnipseeds who monitor this thing for either their business or their just general knowledge. But beyond that, there's no participation. Not even, I mean, voter turnout. And you see these guys win on simple name recognition, or in many cases, they win because they're running unopposed. Like we're the 9th largest city in California. We're the 47th largest city in the United States, and we have city council races that go unopposed. That is shameful on all of you. Well, not you all, because you all are engaged. If you're listening to a news talk show, you're engaged. But for the rest of our community, it's shameful.
So, Ralph, when did you come to Bakersfield?
1992.
1992.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a good
Summer
year.
of 92, right after the riots.
Think back when you came to Bakersfield.
I was a young man, 30 years, just turning 30 that summer. Good looking, freckle-faced black man.
At the Bakersfield Californian, it probably had 100,000 people read it.
It was in the 80s. The 2 years that I was there, it was in the 80s.
80,000.
I've told the story. I was a staff writer for a very short time, and I'd never worked for a weekly newspaper. I was a correspondent for them. I worked independently out of my home and got paid per article for about a year and a half. But for about a month, I was a staff writer. And that newsroom was so busy, and I'd never worked for a daily, that I would have to go outside and circle the block just to concentrate. That's how you had Lois Henry over there screaming. You had Bob Price over there. You had Rob Walters. You had about 20 reporters in a room.
Yes.
20 to 25 reporters.
There. Yeah.
No, upstairs. It was upstairs on the second floor.
Second floor in that big open area. Yeah.
And it was so chaotic and just crazy. And then you fast forward to my first couple of years here, where Scott did his show from the California. You remember that?
Yes.
And we would go over there, dude, and it was like tumbleweeds. It was like an empty room. It was just
a ghost town.
Ghost town. And you know, and the public, the circulation went from when I was there in the 80s, 90s, 80,000, 90,000, maybe 100, to I think they're in like the 20s now. It is the saddest demise I've ever
And the
seen.
population's grown 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times. Isn't that crazy?
But
and now we don't even have we're the 9th largest city in California. We don't have a weekend newspaper. This place just never ceases to amaze me.
So that's part of the changing culture. You know, media's under pressure everywhere. Like even the Fresno Bee is down to 3 days a week or 4 days.
Are they really?
Yeah. Sacramento
Wow.
Bee's probably down like here, like 5 or 6.
That's crazy.
That's McClatchy. I mean, they own how many newspapers they own? They own a lot of them.
All over California, that's
And
for sure.
it's definitely the local news is what suffers.
Yeah, it is. It is. There's just so many sources now. There's so many ways to get information. That
Well,
people don't have
everybody
time.
uses social media.
Yeah.
And some guy writes this, it's on social media, it's on Facebook,
Must be
it
true.
must be true.
Must be true.
It's on LinkedIn, it must be true. It's on Instagram, it must be true.
And it's so far
it's
from
not.
the truth.
It's so far
Yep.
from the truth.
Yep, absolutely. Enjoy your vacation, sir.
Thank you.
See you in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir.
Mike Turnipseed, everybody. Quick time out. We'll have a little time before we get to the bottom of the hour where we'll bring in our money man, Daniel Petrie from Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors. In the meantime, you're listening to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1, AM 1230, and we stream live at KernRadio.com. Thank you, sir.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1
So I'm playing
and
a
AM
shamble.
1230, KERN.
On
First
Saturday.
Look with Scott
It's a
Cox.
shamble on the
morning
front.
6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the
So
First
we
Look
take-
program, the
we're gonna take
latest
Mark
on the
Drive.
craziest story to come down the pike in a
Well,
while, where an
drive the ball,
Amazon driver
so
stole somebody's hat.
Oh my
We're going to get
God.
one of the Money Wise guys on to explain to me how
Scrambled
GameStop thought they
best ball
could buy
no matter where you
eBay,
go.
plus news and
Scrambled
traffic and
is
weather. It's all happening
best
6 to 9
drive
a.m. right here at
when
News
you
Talk
play the ball.
96.1 and AM 1230.
Yeah.
KERN. News Talk
And Mark gets it at
96.1
time.
and AM 1230. KERN.
Let's be honest, money can feel overwhelming. Markets change, life changes, and most people are left wondering, am I actually on track? That's where MoneyWise comes at.
One reason. Everybody I can make up fun. Look, well, because markets are tough. I mean, it's ridiculous.
We help people simplify the complex, make smart financial decisions, and move forward with confidence, without the jargon, without the pressure. Retirement planning, big life transitions, we're just getting organized and knowing where you stand. And now you can find us in a new home, the historic Woolworth building, right in downtown Bakersfield. MoneyWise, clear advice, local roots. Learn more at moneywiseguys.com.
Securities offered through FPL Financial, member FINRA, SFTC, investment advisory services offered through FPL Financial, and MoneyWise Wealth Management are independently owned and operated.
Kern County is hiring its next state assembly member. Let's review the applicants. Applicant 1, Ana Palacio. Top funders, Sacramento Special Interest spending big to buy her the job. Healthcare plan, $700 billion government takeover that eliminates Medicare for millions of seniors and gives control of our healthcare decisions to Sacramento politicians. Pretty radical. There's no way we can afford Ana Palacio. Applicant 2, Andre Gonzalez. Experience, elected to the Bakersfield City Council. Record, addressed housing affordability and brought jobs to Kern County. Healthcare plan, expand access and bring a medical school to Kern County. Accountable to Kern County voters. Easy choice. Vote for Andre Gonzalez for state assembly. Kern County's voice every time. Ad paid for by Keep California Golden. Ad committee's top funders: California Association of Realtors, Alliance of California Farmers and Ranchers, and California Building Industry Association. Not authorized by a candidate or committee controlled by a candidate.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 12.
Turn out right. Oh, you got to keep that up. What I'm saying, you got to keep that up. You got to keep that up. You got to drown out the brother. Got to drown me out. Daniel Petrie joins us after the break. Let's read a couple text messages. Anything left on the board?
I just got one here where a listener is saying that I'm pretty sure I heard Turnipseed last week acknowledge he would be on vacation the next 2 weeks.
Thank you.
So maybe it wasn't on us.
I don't think it was us. I think he did tell us. Thank you. I appreciate that. Chris is off the hook and I'm off the hook. And Turnipseed just drove off the complex. God dog it. I thought he did too.
I remember him mentioning the vacation. I couldn't tell you when he said he was leaving.
Because I thought it was last week that he was missing. And then he kept saying, no, it's next week. Because I did the same thing last week. I thought he was
Watch him
going.
do that to us again next week.
He shows up next Thursday?
No, it's next week.
In the meantime, it's money time. We're off the 21st and I'll talk with our man, Daniel Petrie. Then at the top of the hour, Stephanie Peace from the Hey There Delilah Foundation joins us. They have a golf tournament coming up on Monday. I'll be playing in it. So be kind to Kathy Abernathy, who'll be filling in on Monday as our host. But in the meantime, we head into the back half of the hour. We will also get into the Jean Kell suit. No, she's not suing Trump. Trump's DOJ is going after this 82-year-old woman. I'll explain right here on the Ralph Bailey Show. Don't go anywhere.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
There's been a huge fire that has destroyed a two-story apartment building in Dallas, causing fatalities and injuries. Deputy Fire Rescue Chief Deputy Mark Berry said during the news conference that the search for missing people is ongoing now. First responders' mission has changed from rescue to recovery. Officials say the fire erupted after someone called 911 to report a gas leak. Police in Hawaii searching for a 36-year-old man who they say is wanted in connection with 3 killings. Authorities describe Jacob Baker as armed and extremely dangerous. An Austrian court convicting a man of planning to attack a Taylor Swift concert in Vienna nearly 2 years ago. That man was sentenced to 15 years in an Austrian prison. This is SRN News.
Healthcare has become Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN. Headlines from the KERN newsroom.
Good afternoon, I'm Kim Gordon. Bakersfield will see an increase in sewer rates starting in July. The City Council voted to adopt a rate increase on Tuesday that will climb steadily over the next 5 years. The annual sewer service charge will go from $4.75 to $8.75 by fiscal year 2030-31. Bakersfield police need help identifying a man who allegedly broke into a classroom on May 18th to steal items for an upcoming fundraiser at Hawkato Middle School. That's in the 4100 block of Vineland Road. The suspect is described as a man wearing a black hooded sweatshirt and black pants. And there is a front runner in the race for governor of California, but it's still tight. A new poll from the Public Policy Institute of California shows former Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra with 23% of the vote. I'm Kim Gordon in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
For garage doors done right every time, use King Door Company. Your garage door is a big deal, from the look of your home to the safety and security it provides. So if you need installation, service, adjustments, or repairs, call the professionals at King Door Company. All their employees are very well educated on all garage door products. King Door takes training to the next level with their King Door Academy, an in-house training facility that ensures you'll get the right answer to any garage door questions. King Door knows that when it's all said and done, it's all about customer satisfaction. And that all starts with great employees. So call the certified garage door professionals at King Door Company today at 397-2744 and get your door fixed correctly the first time. You can visit the Design Center at 7450 District Boulevard. Give them a call at 397-2744, and you can always start your garage door journey at kingdoor.com. So remember, whatever your garage door needs, get it done right with King Door Company, the company with the pride of Elias.
I'm here with Dr. Tarkesh from Affordable Dentures and Implants. Doc, what would you say to someone who's been putting off dental work because of their fear or possible anxiety?
I say you're not alone, but don't let your fear hold you back. Affordable Denture and Implants, we offer IV sedation to make sure you're completely relaxed during your procedure. It's a safe and effective way to receive the dental care you need without any stress or discomfort.
And I heard that Affordable Dentures offer same-day dentures.
Yes, you can walk out of our office with a brand new smile in just one visit. We have an in-house lab that allows us to create custom dentures on the spot, so you don't have to wait weeks. It's perfect for patients who wants fast, efficient, and effective solutions without multiple appointments.
Get the smile you've always wanted without anxiety at Affordable Dentures and Implants. Dr. Nozar Tarkesh, who specializes in implants with IV sedation. Visit them online at affordabledentures.com. Affordable Dentures and Implants. That's what we do. Go ahead and smile.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
It's a Thursday. Time to head to 21st and Oak, offices of Messmaker and Petrie Wealth Advisors, and Mr. Daniel Petrie. How are you, sir?
I am doing well, Ralph. How are you?
I'm good. Good. Battling a little gout, and I got 3 rounds of golf to play this weekend, so took a little colchicine and some water. And now my stomach is tearing up, but my knee feels good.
Does your gout ever go? I mean, is it just always there and you get flare-ups, or is it like it goes away and then comes back?
Yes, it just goes away and comes back. I don't know how my body produces uric acid. I eat. The reason that I eat the way I eat is because of my gout. I try to eat the same thing day in and day out. Now it's different from day to day. Sure, it's the same thing. It's based. I go to Lawson's. I'll eat chicken. I'll do the El Pollo Loco thing with the rice and the chicken.
You're making me hungry. Yeah.
Yeah. Or I'll do. There's another chicken place that I do that does a kind of a roasted chicken.
So what does it take? Like 2-3 days before you start, or a week of bad, or
for it to go away?
For your gout, no, to come on.
I have no idea. I hadn't had a gout bout in for weeks, months.
Wow.
And I played Saturday. I was supposed to play Sunday, and it started to bother me. Although I could have played Sunday, didn't feel like getting up, and the girl wanted to go to brunch. And then I was going to play Monday, and that's when it started to bother me Sunday night. And I've been battling it all week, and I think it'll be ready by Friday, by tomorrow, by Saturday. But yeah, I don't know. I can't explain how my body has so much uric acid. That's all it is. And that's normally based on what you eat.
Right.
But, shrimp, seafood, shellfish, beer.
Beer does it?
Beer gets me. Yeah, beer gets me. Yeah.
I always thought it was a total protein thing, but.
No, red meat does not get me as much. But shellfish, if you and I split a shrimp cocktail, I'm done. Yeah. How many pieces come in a shrimp cocktail? Like 6? If I have 3, if I have 3 pieces, you have no idea. Because I love shrimp. I love crab.
When your body torments you, it's like, I can't have this. I want this. And the more I can't have it, the more I want it.
And there's a great seafood place that just opened up walking distance from here. And and I love oysters on the half shell. I can't do that.
Were you a Saturday Night Live fan?
I was.
Do you remember Mr. Peepers?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
That's what I think of when it's like, okay, I'm tired of doing without. I'm going to go get it, and I'm going to eat it like Mr. Peepers.
And the crazy thing is I'm on drugs. I'm taking the allopurinol.
Yeah, you would think that would, you'd have to go like on a binge for 2 weeks to be effective.
Well, and it's much to nobody's surprise. It's partly my fault out of my own stupidity because I was off of it for like 3 or 4 days where I had ordered it, but I was just too lazy to stop at Komodo. And I was like, I'm fine. I'll pick it up tomorrow. I don't need it. And then finally Sunday it kicked in and I was like, damn. So I finally got back on it Monday or Tuesday.
It builds up until you tip the scales and you have an issue. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Wow.
But nobody wants to hear my troubles.
No, nobody. It was interesting listening to you in Turnip Seed. I've been trying to pay attention once in a while when I get a chance. I've been very busy.
Yeah, I bet.
Because I thought, I used to think, okay, how do we change the country or your local politics? You read, you vote, and you hope it changes. And it's like, well, nothing ever changes, it seems like. And that's one way I was describing to a client one time. It's like, look, I figured out I can't change the way of the world, so why don't I just try to make some money off of it?
Yeah.
And it's almost my own way of helping people deal with, because anyway, but you guys always make me think, but it makes me think in strange ways.
Yeah.
It's related to your topic, but totally offbeat.
I'm just depressed that we are a disengaged community.
Oh.
That only about 20% of this community really cares. And you may have stumbled staggeringly, haphazardly into the truth as to why there is such apathy. It may not be laziness. It may just be a mistrust or just a sense that my vote doesn't matter.
Right, we do care, but what good does it do?
What good does it do? Yeah. So,
and even if I do my best and study and vote and make sure I always vote, and it's like, well, maybe I made a difference here, but look at California or look at the nation or or nothing changes. And so there was a long time I didn't vote.
Really?
Sadly.
That is sad.
You would think I would be but I was like, what for? And then, of course, as you become adult and make money and hey, this affects me greatly, you start paying more attention. And then I became pretty active. But
well, that's why I believe we have a chance in Los Angeles and we have a chance in this gubernatorial race. I really, really do, because I think it's gotten so bad that it's beyond partisanship at this point. And I think Los Angelinos and Californians are finally going to say, let's go see what the other guy across the street is selling. You know what I'm saying? We've gone with these Democrats for decades, and things are getting worse. Let's go across the street, as Dr. King used to say, and see what the other fella's selling.
I really hope one day politics gets to the point, here's what I can offer, not look at how bad the other side does.
Well, that's certainly not happening in our lifetime, I can tell you that.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's frustrating because is it really that bad that it's just like, well, I mean, I'm bad, but I'm a lot better than the other, so.
I have not been enthusiastic about a candidate since Bill Clinton. That's the last time I was enthused, because I was a young liberal Democrat and I had never voted for a winning president. Never. And finally, here comes this kid from Arkansas, who a buddy of mine, Mike Davis, who worked for Maxine Waters, he's the guy that hooked me up with the Reverend Jesse Jackson interview.
It's definitely different.
He was the guy in the mid-'80s, like 86, 87, who told me to look out for this guy from Arkansas. And I said, Mike, have you lost your mind? There has never been a president from Arkansas, and there will never be a president from Arkansas. Have you gone crazy? And lo and behold, he came through. That's the last time I was enthusiastic about a candidate.
My frustration comes where if I am, they can't win the primary or they lose the general, or I'm very excited and they do win, and it's like, oh, what happened to who I thought?
That's why I wasn't enthusiastic about Trump. I've told this story 1,000 times on the show. It's 2016. I'm at home. I'm supposed to go to Kathy's event. I'm supposed to go to this event. I'm supposed to go to this thing. And I'm just like, I'm just going to sit home and watch Trump lose. And I'm sitting there. I had a couple belts. And I remember it was a significant state that I didn't think he was going to win. And he won. And I jumped up, threw my clothes on, got in an Uber, went down to Belize. Thankfully, there were only it was election night. There were only 2 or 3 people in there, because I had a little buzz on, and I walk into the bar. I'm so excited. And I go, we're going to screw around and win this thing. And everybody's bar was like, we are. And we were all like high-fiving and going nuts. And I never saw that coming. Never in a million years did I think he was going to win that night. That was a fun night.
That was.
That really was.
And I must say, as much as sometimes I'm disappointed in him, I get very excited by him, too, because he's different.
Well, I'm his biggest critic, but I've always said, and I hope the audience understands this, if he ran again in 28, I'd vote for him again.
Right.
Because he'd be going up against J.B. Pritzker or Josh Shapiro or Gavin Newsom.
Unacceptable.
Exactly. So I'd root for him again, but I'd be critical of him again because he gives you cause to be critical of him.
That's right. He gives you lots of material.
He really does. But anyway.
He's odd.
He is a strange fellow, but he's if he pulls this Iranian situation, if we really get their uranium, he's the greatest president since Lincoln. He really is.
Has a way for as much as the Democrats will complain about him, I can see a path to his. I mean, granted, I'm not always happy how he gets there, but I can see a path to it. But.
I don't.
Okay.
I don't see the path to getting the uranium.
Well,
I don't see the IRGC.
In general, I'm talking
just his general. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, we've even got Howard saying that without the uranium, Epic Fury is a failure. So
it'll be interesting how they spin a success if it is a weird. But the market doesn't seem to. when the news came out this morning that, well, we had to bomb again, and then we took out some boats because they were trying to plant mines, I thought, how will the market tolerate it? And
went up.
Yeah, the market seems to be basically saying it's over. It's a non-entity. It will end.
And gas prices are under $90 a barrel.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see how that comes about. But
I think they're
I'll
going
take it.
to. I think they're both going to sign off on a 60-day ceasefire and try to work it out. But again, I just don't see them handing over their uranium.
Well, unfortunately, I don't trust it. Man, maybe that's biased on my own viewpoint, but I don't trust them.
Why should we?
Yeah, and how can we verify? I thought the whole thing with the other Obama's deal with them was the fact that we can't verify that they're upholding their end of the bargain.
Yeah, the JPOA. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. That was the issue. And so but again, I will concede if he does pull it off, he's the best president since Lincoln.
But
he really is.
And what's the alternative? To let them continue to do what they were doing and then really do some damage if they're so inclined? I mean,
I don't think we're going to continue to bomb. I really don't.
I'd be surprised. I don't think Trump wants to.
No, he doesn't. He can't afford. I was just saying this at the top of the show. If there are even 20 more body bags that come home, this presidency is over. And I think he knows that. And I think that's why he's treading lightly on restarting the bombing. They did some very safe bombing.
Yeah.
Yesterday and the day before, but
tactical, I guess.
Right,
Well,
but
yeah.
serious, putting people in harm's way again. I don't think he can afford to do it. I really don't. But what else is going on economically? Inflation jumped a little bit, did it not?
The numbers are. I think some of the inflation numbers were better than expected, but it's hard to believe with the numbers we're seeing and the feel that people have. And then, of course, it can be bad, but if it's better than expected, the market can move in a way that you don't even anticipate based on what's expected, not what happens.
Right.
But we did get news today.
Which
you would
is?
be interested in.
Yeah.
The debt actually went down.
What?
90 billion. Yeah.
How is
I
that?
have no idea. Every time I try to look into the weekly difference like this, like what the heck happened? I get generic answers, and maybe somebody like Elon Musk paid his tax bill. I have no idea.
That's crazy.
It is, and I'm fascinated to see if next week we go back to the normal, or because in the past we had one of these, and within a few weeks we had a very large up week. That more than made up for the 1 week down.
Why isn't this news?
Yeah, I would think that would be. I would think that I mean, you could argue both sides could play it, but I don't know why they don't. Maybe because the large number is still so big. But
yeah, running out of time. Let's get caught up on gold and silver.
Yeah, surprisingly, you would think that things would move quite a bit, but gold is just under 4,500, down a little bit less than 1% for the week.
Yeah.
And silver was just under 76, down a little over 1% for the week. They're
still hanging in there, though.
Holding up okay.
Yeah.
I still think that we got a little bit ahead of ourselves with the sentiment, and we needed to correct in either price or time. And I think we've actually gotten both of those, and you never know. I mean, I would have argued it would have been already, but I would say we're close to a bottom if we haven't been there already. So I'm looking forward to those prices moving north again and people being happy. At least people like you and I.
Yeah. Let's certainly hope so.
Yeah.
Let's certainly hope so. Have a wonderful weekend, sir. Always great to talk to you. We'll wrap to you next Thursday.
All right, Ralph. Be well.
You as well, sir. Thank you, sir. Daniel Petrie. Quick time out before we get to the 5. Jean Carroll is being criminally pursued by the Trump Department of Justice. I'll explain why and why this is just another part of the Trump revenge tour that's going to go absolutely nowhere. And I'll explain what this is really all about. Then at the top of the hour, Stephanie Pease from the Hey There Delilah Foundation joins us. Got a golf tournament she wants to tell you all about and tell you about their foundation. That's all coming up right here on the Ralph Bailey Show on Newstalk 96.1 AM 1230. And we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio, News Talk,
Casey.
ERN.
Did you know termites can silently feast on your home for 3 to 4 years before you see any damage? They can literally eat a bedroom wall in less than 2 years, causing major structural damage to your biggest investment. Don't wait for the evidence to appear. Ryan's Termite is running an early bird special. If you know or even suspect that you have termites, get on Ryan's schedule now for an additional 10% off our already lowest price. All work is guaranteed. There's no money down and no contracts. Plus, in most cases, you won't even have to move or tent your house. Protect your home and save. Call Ryan's today. That's Ryan's Termite Control.com.
It's time for some protein for the kid. I'm headed to KC Steakhouse tonight to have a little steak, try to get ready for the weekend. I've got 3 rounds of golf I'm playing, so I've got a little protein in my body. And I was just asking Chris, what is the popular steak at KC Steakhouse? Because I'm a New York guy or a filet, but it's the real big one that is the
ribeye.
The ribeye is the one that's most famous, but that's not me. I'm a New York guy or the filet, and Chef Daniel does a filet with the Béarnaise sauce. Oh, that you could almost cut with a fork. That's what I'm talking about. And again, you all voted last year, Bakersfield, California poll, KC Steakhouse is the best steakhouse in Kern County, and it is one of the single most iconic restaurants in this community, about to turn 90 years old very soon. And Cassie Biddle's got the stock card pumping. She's got Haley in there, live music Thursday, Fridays, and Saturday nights. And as I always remind you, Jimmy and Bobby provide live music in the main restaurant Tuesday through Saturday. Where would you rather be than at 1915 F Street, KC Steakhouse, longtime sponsors of the Ralph Bailey Show.
Here's a tale of Becky. Didn't know what to do with new meds prescribed and no real cost clue.
She squinted at prices, that can't be right. Then tapped GoodRx and saw the light.
She can get a deal. Book telehealth if she feels.
Learn about those meds without any stress. That one little app does all the rest. Even my horse downloaded it. Dang, saved time and money on prescriptions.
Check GoodRx. GoodRx is not insurance.
Support comes from Amazon Business. Free your team from time-consuming procurement tasks. Discover smart business buying, where unmatched selection meets AI-driven tools to simplify complex processes, so you can focus on what matters most. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Giving your liver a spring cleaning is easy with Active Liver from New Nordic, the delicious daily detox that will keep you feeling your best. Search for Active Liver by New Nordic on Amazon or pick up some at your local CVS, Wegmans, or GNC.
Supervisor Jeff Flores here. I'm proud of what we've accomplished together for Kern County. We've completed over 75 miles of new roads, as well as major road repairs, improving safety and traffic flow. We've opened a new facility on Roberts Lane that has captured 7 million pounds of bulky waste from our streets, completed major upgrades at Sandlin Ballpark and Hart Park, where a water splash pad is now under construction. And when you asked for stronger public safety, I listened and took action. We filled more than 200 new deputies and counting.
I'm Sheriff Donnie Youngblood. I've watched Jeff prove himself from day one, especially his commitment to public safety. Jeff listens and follows through. Our county is better for it. Please join me in voting for Jeff Flores.
I'm proud of the real progress we've made, but there's more work to do. I will continue fighting for a safer, stronger Kern County. I'm Jeff Flores, and I'd be honored to have your vote.
Ad paid for by Jeff Flores for Supervisor 2026.
Oh, yeah? An ad quest? Wow.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my
Good.
show, The JR Show, starting at 1
Okay.
p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Killed the Tsar and his ministers, Anastasia.
69 degrees. And they have the thermostat on 71. But when it's 100 degrees, they have the thermostat on 73, 74. It is freezing in here for an old man. What do you got on the board before we get Stephanie Pease in here?
Ralph, it's Lassens, like Lassie.
What am I saying?
Lawson's.
Shut up. I don't care. It's so embarrassing, Chris. It's so embarrassing. because there's one guy that works there like every single day. And, normally you would like this, but it's like, I don't know why I'm insulted by it or just I'm embarrassed by the fact that I go there almost every single day. Because as soon as I walk in, he turns around. Hey, Ralph. It's like, hey, man. That's how I ran into Julie. Julie was checking out, and the dude said, hey, Ralph. I didn't even see her. Julie Escalante is the bartender at Casey Steakhouse. I mean, it's Luigi's restaurant, as most of you know. And I didn't even see her. And the dude said, hey, Ralph. And she turned around like, Ralph? And she was like, oh, hi, Ralph. I'm like, oh, hey, Julie. And it's just embarrassing. The dude knows me by my first name. And
It's like walking into Cheers.
it's the way it was when I lived on Westfield, when I'd go into Trader Joe's. It was the same thing. They're like, hi, Ralph. Good to see you today. Good to see you guys, too. We'll see you tomorrow. Yeah, you probably will. I love me some Trader Joe's. And I used to live right across the street and was in there like literally almost every single day. Coming up at the bottom of the hour, after we talk with our guests, we're going to get into this DOJ launching a probe into 82-year-old E. Jean Carroll, who won a libel suit first she won the sexual assault suit where she claimed that the president of the United States, Donald Trump, assaulted her sexually in a dressing room at a department store. The jury found that she was telling the truth. After that, the president continued. I don't think he was the president at the time. I think it was in between his 45 and 47. Continued to call her a liar and defamed her. And she sued for defamation. Now, most of you are engaged, and you know how difficult it is to win a defamation suit. She won $83 million. So obviously, and if you think this is anything but revenge, this is, let me be blunt. There's always been, what should I call it? Incest, we'll call it, between the Department of Justice and the White House. I mean, it literally, the reason I use incest is because the biggest example that I can come up with that I think of is John Kennedy, my favorite president. His brother was heading the Department of Justice. Now remember, it's like church and state. The Department of Justice is supposed to be completely independent from the White House. But that is the biggest political lie that's ever been told, I think, going back to Jefferson, our third president. The Department of Justice is an arm of the White House. Let's face that. I mean, his brother was running DOJ. Eric Holder, you don't think he was telling Obama what he was doing? You don't think he was taking instructions from Obama? And now Todd Blanche, who was the president's personal attorney, it'd be like if I got elected president of the United States and I made Larry Fields, who used to be my attorney when I used to get into trouble, and he got me out of a lot of trouble that you all don't even know about. Anyway, I made him attorney general. You know what I'm saying? And then he went after the guy that punched me and just started personal vendettas out of the office of the Department of Justice. This is exactly what this is. This woman is 82 years old. Trump is pissed that he either has to pay or has already paid some of the $5 and then the $83 million he lost in the defamation suit. And he's going after this 83-year-old woman. And why? Because he knows he can't win. But you know what the punishment is? The process. You know how much money it takes to go up against the government, the Department of Justice, the federal government? And that's all he wants. I told you when he went after Comey, that wasn't going anywhere. And this 86 Shell investigation, where they said Comey was trying to say he was going to kill the president, that ain't going anywhere. I hate Letitia James, but I told you that wasn't going anywhere. All these suits, all these petty, revengeful suits are going nowhere. The Department of Justice knows it. Trump knows it, but it's the process. It makes Comey, Letitia James, and E. Jean Carroll spend a lot of money just to go through the process and to have a judge say, this is the weakest case I've ever seen, I'm throwing it out. It is what a TI is. It's just amazing. In the meantime, we headed to the final hour of the broadcast on a much lighter and much more positive note. We're going to talk with Stephanie Peace about the Hey There Delilah Foundation. That's coming up right here on the Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. And we stream live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio AM 1230, KERN. 96.1 FM, KTWC Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. There's been a huge fire that has destroyed a two-story apartment building in Dallas, causing fatalities and injuries. Dallas Fire Rescue Deputy Chief Mark Berry says the search for missing people is ongoing. He says first responders' mission has changed from rescue to recovery now. Officials say the fire erupted. That's after someone called 911 to report a gas leak. At a White House press briefing, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says he will not confirm that a tentative agreement to extend the U.S.-Iran ceasefire is in place.
Again, it's always a mistake to get out ahead of the president, so it is all going to be the president's decision. I think that we can see that the president very clearly stated his three: the open the strait, highly enriched uranium, no nuclear program.
He says oil and gas prices will drop once an agreement has been reached in the Iran war.
What we've seen is actually oil prices are down about 10% in May. There are almost 2,000 ships waiting to come out of the Gulf. And I think the oil market is going to be very well supplied on the other side of this, and that we could see prices come down very quickly.
And stocks keep moving higher.
Profits keep piling up for companies like Dollar Tree and Hormel Foods. A tentative deal to extend the ceasefire in the war with Iran by 60 days also helped lift the market and rein in crude oil prices. The S&P 500 rose 0.6% Thursday. The Dow edged up 24 points. That's less than 0.1%. The Nasdaq Composite climbed 0.9%. Dollar Tree soared almost 18%. Hormel added 12.5%. Treasury yields eased in the bond market.
It's cold out there.
The 10-year Treasury fell to 4.45%. Seth Supo, New York.
More on these stories from townhall.com.
This thing on cool. Hey, girly.
When did watching TV go from a way to relax to a complicated chore? Well, if you're sick of huge cable bills or endlessly searching for the show everyone's talking about, then welcome to Philo. Philo's the streaming service that respects both your time and your wallet, without needing to cut the stuff you actually love to watch. This means live TV from more than 70 channels like Hallmark, History, A&E, and Lifetime, plus a huge library of blockbuster movies and classic shows, and an easy-to-use unlimited DVR that lets you save anything you want and skip all the ads when you watch. The best part? You get all this for just $25 a month when you sign up at Philo.tv. No hidden fees, no long contracts, just a genuinely great deal. And new users can try it completely free for 7 days. So head to Philo.tv, that's PHILO.tv, and experience a better way to TV. Subscriptions auto-renew at monthly rate plus applicable taxes. Cancel anytime. See terms at Philo.tv.
Australia.
From the KERN Newsroom, your live and local news update.
Good afternoon, I'm Kim Gordon. With Election Day on Tuesday, a new poll shows gubernatorial candidate Democrat Javier Becerra, the former Health and Human Services Secretary, leading the race with 23%. That's according to the Public Policy Institute of California. GOP consultant Republican Steve Hilton is close behind with 20%, followed by billionaire Tom Steyer at 15%. In Kern County, there are lots of ways to get your vote counted. Mail-in ballots can be mailed in, dropped off in an official drop box, or delivered in person on Election Day at any polling site. You could also cast a ballot in person on June 2nd. Congressman David Valadao wants to give new parents a financial break. He's introduced the Supporting Newborn Parents Act, a bill that would create a federal newborn tax credit. It would give families a one-time $2,000 credit during the year a baby is born. Kern County averages about 14,000 births every year. Bakersfield police are asking for your help to find a man who allegedly broke into a classroom and stole items for an upcoming fundraiser at Farmville Middle School in the 4100 block of Vineland Road that's happened on May 18th. The suspect is described as a man wearing a black hooded sweatshirt and black pants. Anyone with information should call Bakersfield Police. There's a new park coming to the southwest side of the city. A groundbreaking for the Anton Giovanni Park will take place on Saturday at 11 a.m. Once completed, the new park will have a splash pad, picnic areas, a playground, restrooms, a fitness
How many
area,
teams you got?
and even a dog park. Sewer rates are about to go up in Bakersfield. On Tuesday, the city council voted to adopt a rate increase that will climb steadily over the next 5 years. I'm Kim Gordon in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
To the rest of all, in a month from now, this Hollywood Big Shot's gonna give you what you want. Too late, they start shooting in a week. I'm gonna make them an offer, Captain.
The Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230. KERN.
And I've seen the promised land. I may not get there with you, but I want you to know tonight that we as a people will get to the promised land.
Call in or text to 661-842-KERN. That's 661-842-5376. Listen live at KERNradio.com. Now, the host you've been waiting all day for. Live from the KERN studio, here's Ralph Bailey.
Final hour of the broadcast on this Thursday, rainy Thursday, final Thursday in May. God, June is here. Monday. You believe that? Primary is here Tuesday. We'll talk about Robert Francis Kennedy's life, who died on June 4th, 1968. We'll talk about D-Day next week. All kind of commemorations going on. Still got lots to do in our final hour. Lynette Hooker is still missing somewhere in the Bahamas. I told you guys that Brian Hooker was going to get away with this thing. They have not found her body. The Coast Guard is re-investigating, and they're searching for her body. I don't think she's in the ocean. I think this guy whacked her somewhere in the Bahamas and set up this whole elaborate, she fell off the skiff on the way to our yacht at 8 o'clock at night on a stormy night. Really? Okay. But I told you he was going to get away with it. We'll talk about that. And I've got more on E. Jean Carroll. We've got some, I'll give you the background. I kind of flirted with it, but I didn't give you the background on it. And you'll hear from one of the players that's causing the DOJ to investigate her. I'll explain. And we'll talk a little sports. Shohei Ohtani had threw a no-hitter for 6 innings last night at 7 Ks and gave up 1 run as the Dodgers continue to win. And Chris Burdick's Phillies coming into town tomorrow for the weekend. And we wrap up the series trying to sweep the Colorado Rockies tonight. We'll get into that as well. But in the meantime, for those that are viewing on YouTube can tell, I have 2 lovely ladies live in studio from the Hey There Delilah Foundation. To my direct left is Stephanie Peace, and to my far left is Samantha Loya. She is the mother of Delilah and the creator of the foundation. Ladies, thanks for coming in. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
And let's turn it on. There we go. Now we're all on. Say hi to everybody.
Hello, thanks for having us.
Let's start with you, Samantha. Tell the story, the unfortunate, tragic story of your daughter and how this foundation got up on its feet.
So Delilah, she was my daughter. She battled cancer for about almost 6 years. She was diagnosed at 4 years old with neuroblastoma, and unfortunately at 9 years old, she passed away. But I went to my best friend, Steph, who also battled cancer, and I said, Steph, there's not a lot of organizations that help adults battling cancer. And even though I want to also help children like Delilah, I know you battled cancer, so would you like to start a foundation where we help everybody battling cancer? And she said, of course. And so Delilah's name is Delilah, and we named her after the song Hey There Delilah by the Plain White T's. And when I said, what do you think we should name it? She was like, Hey There Delilah.
Duh.
And I was like, of course. And that's how the foundation started.
How old is it now?
We started in 23.
23?
Yeah. So 3 years.
Yeah.
That's outstanding.
Yes.
That's outstanding.
Yeah.
And this is the second year of the golf tournament?
This is our second annual.
Tell us about it.
So we're scheduled for June 1st, Monday at Bakersfield Country Club. Right now we're at 30 teams, so we've got about 2 teams left before we sell out. And it's just, 100% of the proceeds go to cancer fighters here in Kern County.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Nothing goes to us. We just try to gather $1,000, and as soon as we
And
raise
donate
$1,000, it goes straight to a family battling cancer. They don't
needs financial assistance.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Or simple.
Yeah. Or you can reach us on Instagram too. Hey There Delilah Official.
Number we can be reached at is 661-862-9389. They can call or text, and they could just reach out and let us know that they've got a team, and they can prepay or pay the day of the event.
Yeah.
Or just give a donation if they'd like to do that too.
Yeah. I'm sure a lot of folks will do that as well.
Which is Delilah's little sister. started kindergarten, and she kept telling me about this boy named Etienne. She saw Delilah and she's like, I have a story. I also fought cancer, and then we just became best friends. She told me, if you ever need something, call me. And I needed her one day at 3 a.m. and I had to rush Delilah to Los Angeles. And I said, Steph, I know we don't really know each other, but I need you to take my babies. And can you get them to school for me? And I'm just trusting you because I have to take Delilah to the hospital right now. And she said, I'll take them. And she took care of them. She even bought summer underwear and stuff because I didn't pack her anything. You know, she did it all for me. And she was with me through Delilah's death and everything. So she had a trip. She canceled her trip and she stayed with me at the hospital. And we didn't talk about cancer. We talked about everything else but cancer.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. You're a pretty good friend, Stephanie.
She is. She's
I
the
try.
best.
Do you want to talk about?
Do you think I'm a good friend?
You are. You talk smack about me every time you can. You gonna show up, Bailey? Where's this coming from? Do you want to talk about your own cancer?
Yeah, I was diagnosed in 2016. I was 5 months pregnant, and
Really?
yes,
With Summer's best friend.
yes, and I was,
Wow.
you know, I kept because I was I hate to say the word geriatric pregnancy, but that's what they called it when you're 32 years old and you're pregnant. And so they kept saying like he's got all of these chromosome disorders, and he was testing positive for every one of these chromosome disorders. And then it turns out that it was me. I had the pre-existing condition, so he was fine. It was me. They found a mass during a routine ultrasound, and that was it. I mean, I delivered him at 32 weeks, and 21 days later, I started chemo, radiation, CyberKnife. Yeah. And so
How did they not catch this during all the visits you had?
right? It's
at the early of your pregnancy?
They
I
thought it
know.
was the baby. They
They thought
wanted
it
her
was
to
him.
terminate.
They thought it was him, and it wasn't. He was actually like trying to tell the doctors, like, "Hey, my mom's,
Something's wrong.
yeah, something's up."
Mhm.
So, he's a genius. So he's
He is.
fine.
How old is he now?
He's 9.
Nice.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
great age.
yeah. He's brilliant.
That's a great age.
And he tells everyone I saved my mom's life. He
And
wants,
he's right.
yeah. He wants to be an oncologist.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, not only did he was a big part of my fight, but then his good friend Delilah passed, and so
And he was there. They were
Mhm.
the kids were there when Delilah passed away.
yeah. So
We were all
I
at the
can't even
hospital
imagine.
together.
Yeah.
I know.
And so they're such a big part of this foundation. You know, it was funny. We were getting our shirts ready for something,
Yeah.
and I said, "Hey, buddy, do you want to wear a Hey There Delilah shirt to school?" And he says, "No, Mom, that's a work shirt." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Oh,
so-
sorry, I didn't realize."
Yes.
Our kids are playing chess.
Yes, they
While
are.
we're playing
Mhm.
checkers.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
That is funny. We're talking with Stephanie Peace and Samantha Loya. Their golf tournament is this Monday out of Bakersfield Country Club. They got 2 teams left. So if you want to try to sneak in, you've got the opportunity to get that number out there one more time.
The number is 862-9389. You can call or text and just let us know that you've got a team to sign up. And yeah, 100% of the proceeds going to local cancer fighters.
And if you missed any of this information, now that we're on YouTube, there's no excuse. You can go back and watch the whole entire interview, catch the numbers, write them down, and you can tell your families so they can watch and
Awesome.
see you
Yeah,
guys
thank you.
on our show. We appreciate you coming in,
Thanks
We
for
appreciate you
us.
having us.
and I appreciate you inviting me. And I will see you Monday morning.
See you on Monday.
Absolutely,
All right.
absolutely.
Sounds good.
Samantha Loya and Stephanie Peace, the Hey There Delilah Foundation. Quick time out. We're coming right back. Still lots to do to wrap this thing up on this rainy Thursday, right here on the Ralph Bailey Show. News Talk 96.1, AM 1230. We're streaming live at kernradio.com. Sweet. That went really well.
Kern Radio,
Really well.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230.
I know.
KERN.
That was good. That was
First
really, really
Look
good.
with Scott
Wow, I didn't
Cox,
know the
morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the First Look program, the latest on the craziest story to come down the pike in a while, where an Amazon driver stole somebody's cat. We're going to get one of the Money Wise guys on to explain to me how GameStop thought they could buy eBay, plus news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230.
Oh, is that right? Where y'all going?
KERN, News Talk 96.1
Yeah.
and
Tell 'em I
AM
said, hey.
1230.
Love that guy.
KERN.
All right, thank you.
Every Thursday at 4:30, Daniel Petrie lightens up the broadcast with his incredible wit, pure intelligence,
Did I tell you what
political
I found?
knowledge, and obviously an absolute.
Applicant 1, Anna Palacio. Top funders, Sacramento Special Interests spending big to buy her the job. Health plan, $700 billion government takeover that eliminates Medicare
is
for
that
millions of
segment not on
seniors
YouTube?
and gives control of our healthcare decisions
Is
to
that segment
Sacramento
on YouTube?
politicians. Pretty radical.
After I
There's
just
no
told him
way
they
we
could
can
go to
afford
YouTube.
Anna Palacio. Applicant 2, Andre Gonzalez. Experience, elected to the Bakersfield City.
That's what made me look at the screen is when you told him that. I was like, error permitting. And I was like, oh, crap.
Kern County.
That's
Accountable to Kern County voters. Oh,
They're
easy
gonna go look
choice.
for it tonight
Vote
and
for
it's not
Andre
gonna be
Gonzalez
there.
for state assembly. Kern County's voice every time. Ad paid for by Keep California Golden. Ad these top funders,
I
California
can't hear you.
Association of Realtors, Alliance of California's Farmers and Ranchers, and California Building Industry Association. Not authorized by a candidate or committee controlled by a candidate.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Boy, isn't life strange? I'm telling you, life's a struggle, man. Can you imagine finding out that you have cancer when you're pregnant? Life is just, and yet, for the most part, everything turned out all right, other than Samantha's daughter. And hope you guys will help their Delilah Foundation. And again, I will not be here on Monday. I'm playing in their tournament. But Kathy Abernathy will be sitting in for me. In the meantime, anything on the board?
Sorry, yeah, I was looking and making sure it was all there. Let's see. Ralph, I know this sounds weird, but eat some cherries. It will fix the gout by the next day.
Yeah, and I just bought some cherry juice from Lawson's. Lucens. Nothing works. My uric acid level must be just off the chart high. The last time I had a serious bout and I literally missed work, I literally went to Coffrey and they tested me. I had a blood test and he said, yeah, your level is like an 11, which was crazy. And I'm on the allopurinol. I wasn't last weekend. That's why I'm hobbling today. And I just have to stay on the allopurinol. I went and got some colchicine today because that's immediate relief, but it upsets your stomach. It is hell on your stomach. And of all days for me not to eat breakfast today was the bad day. I'm on an empty stomach and I just took the colchicine about a couple hours ago. And literally I came in here hobbling and within 2 hours my knee feels fine, but I'm as nauseous as all get out. That's why I'm going to Casey's Steakhouse tonight and trying to get something heavy on my stomach, a little protein, have a little still have to figure out whether I'm gonna have the New York or the filet. I think I'm gonna go with the filet. My dad was a huge New York guy. We used to have New Yorks, and he loved T-bone steaks. Because my father always said, with the T-bone, you get 2 steaks in one. Because he always felt like, the little soft area off to the right of the T-bone was like the filet, and then the left side was like the New York. That was my father's theory on the T-bone. 842-5376, 842-KRN. Is there anything wrong in there? I get nervous when he walks in your studio.
Huh?
Is there anything wrong? I get nervous when he walks in the studio.
He was just letting me know he's going home.
Oh, okay. Did you get your milk? Was that milk? You're drinking milk?
Or his coffee.
Ah, okay. I was wondering. I'm like, why is he drinking milk?
I mean, I drink milk.
Do you really?
Oh, yeah, I love milk. Especially if I have chocolate.
I can't do it.
Yeah, I know a lot of people that have told me that now. And I get it has no nutritional value to you, but I like it.
Oh, I'm so lactose intolerant. It's just not even funny. I can't do ice cream. I can't do what did he say?
He said, what aren't you at your age?
All right, settle down there, boy. Give it 15. 15 years, Flores. 15. You'll be hobbling around here just like me. I'll be long gone, of course, but nevertheless, you'll be hobbling around. You ain't 31. Just saying. What else you got?
Trump is using our tax dollars and uses our DOJ as his personal lawyers to go after anyone who stands up to him. E. Jean Carroll will be using her own funds to defend herself. Donald Trump hasn't paid $1 to E. Jean Carroll, it's all under appeals.
Well, that's that's the crux of this whole matter. That's why they're going after her criminally, because in the midst of her fight with Trump initially on the sexual charge, a man by the name of Reid Hoffman, who apparently, I didn't know this, is the founder of LinkedIn. So he's got stupid, crazy, godlike money. And well, let's let Mr. Hoffman explain to himself. This is how Reid Hoffman explains how he got involved. Because remember, the criminal offense the DOJ is alleging is that E. Jean Carroll lied when asked, did she have a third party help her with the lawsuit? Reid Hoffman is the third party. But as he'll explain, well, let me just let him talk. Here's Reid Hoffman.
It is a standard practice that happens a lot where there's as outside funding of lawsuits. We didn't encourage the lawsuit to happen. We only got on board after she'd already filed it and was down the road. So you're not trying to create something that isn't substantive, real, that a person isn't really doing. My team looked at it and thought that it was her voice should be heard. That because she was challenging someone who's so much more wealthy and powerful, it shouldn't be squashed.
And that's the crux of it. And the reason that I can irrefutably say that this is part of the revenge tour, this has already been adjudicated. You don't think that the Trump defense team didn't bring this up at the initial trial? They did. And she was deposed and asked about this and said flatly, he got on board after I filed the suit. When I initially did the deposition prior to the thing getting started, there was no third party. And then once it became public record, Reid Hoffman got on board. So she didn't even lie. And I think Todd Blanche, who's recused himself, but nevertheless, he's the point man. There's nothing that goes on in the DOJ that Todd Blanche doesn't sign off on. You can recuse yourself all you want, but like we don't see through that. And again, it's the process. The texter, the caller, the listener just identified that Trump hasn't paid her a nickel. So again, she's an 82-year-old woman that he's going after. And it's the process. It's not even the idea that they actually think they're going to get her on perjury. Really? It's not going to happen. But James Comey has got to hire an attorney. Letitia James has to hire an attorney. All these people that Trump feels wronged him, he knows he's not going to get a conviction. He just wants to have them go through the process. And when you're hiring the type of attorneys that these people have to hire, I mean, you've heard the numbers that H.A. Sala gets. The rumor around town is that the Scrivener family or somebody came up with $500,000 for that defense. That's in Bakersfield. Granted, probably one of the best attorneys in California. No, not probably. One of the best attorneys in California. We're talking about the federal government. We're talking about fighting the federal government. Do you know what type of top-tier lawyer you have to have? I'll tell you what type top-tier lawyer you have to have. It's the type of top-tier lawyer that when you call them, that's $1,000. When they pick up the phone, Bailey and Associates, you're being billed. Hi, Ralph. This is your client. Really? Good to hear from you. Really good to hear from you. So that's all this is about, is the process. Trump knows he's not going to get a conviction. Todd Blanche knows he's not going to get a conviction. And Todd Blanche used to be a reputable attorney. And it's just too bad that once you get into that Trump sphere, people change. People change. People absolutely change who they are, what their moral compass is, and what their principles are and what they stand for. They're absolutely willing to, it's either that or be eliminated. That's the one thing, the one talent that we've never seen in politics. The closest we've come to is Lyndon Johnson, who would threaten you with legislation or, you know, even Lyndon Johnson didn't primary people. But Donald Trump will turn your lights out if you aren't beholden to him, if you don't suck the big toe of Donald Trump. He just ran out 3 sitting U.S. senators: Bill Cassidy, Tom Tillis, and most recently, John Cornyn. And guess what? They're going to be United States senators for another 6 months. So there's no real serious Republican legislation that could possibly get through. And I thought at the end of the day, it was America first. I thought at the end of the day, it was about lowering prices. I thought at the end of the day, it was about changing America and not getting involved in these foreign situations. But seemingly not. Seemingly not. Now it's about creating a $2 billion slush fund to pay off the J6 rioters. Now we're going to create this Arc de Triomphe in honor of the great Donald Trump. We've got a ballroom that was supposed to be paid for by not us, not taxpayers. Oh, wait a minute. We need security. I need $1 billion. While most folks in this country couldn't come up with $1,000 in 24 hours if they had to. And it's tone deaf. It's bad politics. And I'm sorry, Howard, you're wrong. It's going to be a bloodbath. I don't even think the redistricting can help the Republican Party. Let me give you a stat. Did you know that between 2018 and 2020, every Republican senator or congressman who was in a district at a time when Trump's numbers were in the 30s lost? No one won. And he's in the 30s now. And the most significant loss from the Trump coalition, the Trump team that won again in 24, that pulled off the almost impossible that had only been once done ever in American history, Grover Cleveland, winning, losing, and then winning again. Nobody's done it. Nobody's done it. Nixon came close by losing and then coming back and winning. But nobody has done what Grover Cleveland and Donald Trump did. And you know how he did it? Through the Latino vote. Through the Latino vote and the black vote. He got Latino and black numbers literally never seen before from the right and the Republican Party. Well, guess what? That Latino vote has disappeared. And why? Why? Immigration. If he had simply focused on the criminals, there's a smattering of Latinos who feel like everyone that's not here legally should go. There is a portion of Latinos that feel that way, but not the majority. And even those who may feel that way, that, hey, I came here the right way, you didn't. We had somebody call in last week and say that. But the manner in which the ICE agents have treated people, the 2 shootings in Minnesota, the video of a woman literally being dragged out of her car, children being afraid to go to school because they think they'll get scooped up by ICE agents, that Latino vote is gone. That's why James Tellurico is the next Democratic senator coming out of the great state of Texas. Write it down. Ralph Bailey told you before June that Ken Paxton is going to get his ass kicked. He's an infidel. He was indicted for fraud, and he was impeached by a Republican-led Congress legislature. Quick timeout. Last half hour of the broadcast. Don't go anywhere.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
Fire destroyed a 2-story apartment building in Dallas, causing fatalities and injuring at least 4 people. The search for the missing is ongoing. Rescuers trying to reach 4 climbers who fell on Alaska's Mount McKinley, North America's tallest peak, according to the National Park Service. The climbers' conditions not immediately known following that fall. The key inflation gauge accelerated in April to the highest level in 3 years, the latest sign that spiking gas prices and higher food costs are squeezing American finances. Inflation jumped 3.8% in April compared with a year ago. That's according to the Commerce Department, up from 3.5% in March, and it was the highest since May of 2023. This is SRN News.
There's a moment nobody.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. Headlines from the KERN newsroom.
I'm Kim Gordon. With Election Day just under a week away, the Kern County Election Office wants to make sure your votes are counted. Mail-in ballots can be mailed in, dropped off at an official drop box, or delivered in person on Election Day at any polling site. You can also cast a ballot in person on Election Day, June 2nd. The California Highway Patrol in Bakersfield says 32 people were arrested for DUI and more than 500 citations were issued over the Memorial Day holiday. That includes 262 tickets for speeding. The Torch Volleyball Club in Bakersfield is sending 3 girls teams to compete in the Nationals in June, all in the club's first year. KGET reports the club has 6 teams with girls ranging in age from 10 to 18 years old. I'm Kim Gordon in the KERN newsroom with news every half hour and when it breaks on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Supervisor Jeff Flores here. I'm proud of what we've accomplished together for Kern County. We've completed over 75 miles of new roads, as well as major road repairs, improving safety and traffic flow. We've opened a new facility on Roberts Lane that has captured 7 million pounds of bulky waste from our streets. Completed major upgrades at Salmon Ballpark and Hart Park, where a water splash pad is now under construction. And when you asked for stronger public safety, I listened and took action. We filled more than 200 new deputies and counting.
I'm Sheriff Donnie Youngblood. I've watched Jeff prove himself from day one, especially his commitment to public safety. Jeff listens and follows through. Our county is better for it. Please join me in voting for Jeff Flores.
I'm proud of the real progress we've made, but there's more work to do. I will continue fighting for a safer, stronger Kern County. I'm Jeff Flores, and I'd be honored to have your vote.
Ad paid for by Jeff Flores for Supervisor 2026.
Wake up, y'all. This here's Mia the Mosquito. Me and my girls are back and ready to chew up Kern County. You know we like a good party.
Help fight the bite, Kern County. Dump all standing water and remember to apply insect repellent. If you do have a mosquito problem, visit kernmosquito.com. It's a free service.
Or don't, and we can all hang out together like we did last year, leaving your windows and doors open.
Visit kernmosquito.com.
First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the First Look program, the latest on the craziest story to come down the pike in a while, where an Amazon driver stole somebody's cat. We're going to get one of the Money Wise guys on to explain to me how GameStop thought they could buy eBay, plus news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Hey, it's JR Flores. Catch my show, The JR Show, starting at 1 p.m. Now back to the Ralph Bailey Show on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
We've got a question already in for our guest tomorrow. Don't forget, Secretary of the Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, is our guest tomorrow. We're excited about this. My first interview with a member of the Trump cabinet. We're excited about that. And Jack writes, our family farm, a small agricultural operation in Kern County, was approved for a REAP grant, R-E-A-P grant, to help fund a solar system and offset California's extreme energy costs. We budgeted around receiving these approved funds, but shortly after President Trump's second term began, payments were canceled, putting our operation in a difficult financial position. Is there any outlook on whether these previously approved REAP grants will still be funded? Sorry for the long question. This funding is crucial for us. Thank you, Ralph. Love the show. I will definitely leave this right here where no one will touch it, hopefully. And I will ask that of the Secretary. Brooke Rollins, Secretary of the Agriculture. I almost called CNN yesterday. I don't know if anybody picked this up if you were watching the news conference, but Kelly Loeffler, a failed senator from Georgia, was brought into the cabinet. She is the Secretary of U.S. Small Business Administration, and CNN identified her as the Agriculture Secretary. And I was sitting there and I was like, I started to panic because I think we'd already recorded the promo where I'm saying, Brooke Rollins, the Secretary of Agriculture. And I panicked. I went looking at Google. I was like, oh, thank you. It's just CNN got it wrong, not me. Thank you, Jesus. 842-5376, 842-KERN. Anything?
Yeah, I got a couple of.
What do you got?
Ralph, check out the bill that Dems in California just passed late last night, AB 2108. It's basically guts Prop 36, which won in literally every county in California.
Doesn't say what it's about. I'll have to look it up. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Doesn't say what exactly it does. Just says it guts 36.
That's all the information that the text was giving me. Yeah.
I thought they were talking about the legislation that Newsom wants to get up on its feet. And it may be one of the few times, and you're not going to like me. You're not going to like me. But I might have to agree with Gavin Newsom. He wants to, for all Californians that get, excuse me, I'm having some indigestion problems here. I took a colchicine pill for my gout. I apologize. He wants to tax any Californian that gets any part of that $1.8 billion slush fund that they're creating for the J6 rioters, the urban terrorists that broke into the Capitol and hunted down Mike Pence. 100%. He's going to tax them 100%. And you know how I feel about the J6 rioters. I pains me to have to be on the same team with Gavin Newsom, and technically I'm not, because, you know, fundamentally you can't make that right. You know what I'm saying? Two wrongs don't make a right. And just because I'm against the fund, I shouldn't support penalizing those people, because the government, I mean, you know, it's part of the game. If the government's going to give you money, even if you're a criminal, even if you attack Capitol Police, even if you ran into my house and ransacked it and went searching for Mike Pence to hang him, it's legal. It is what it is. Just saying. 842-5376, 842-KERN. What else you got?
Just one more. It says, Ralph, I'm not sure if you're aware that they make lactose-free milk, other dairy products.
I am aware, but it's not that big a give up. I almost did it. You know what? I almost did it. The other night I was up. I had fallen asleep at 8. Must have been Sunday or Monday. And I woke up at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I picked up my phone, and somehow it was on Uber Eats, and the 7-Eleven popped up somehow. I don't know what happened, but basically the ice cream thing came up. And it was Ben and Jerry's, and I was just like, ooh, just a mere push of a button, and I could be having some chunky monkey in about 30 minutes. Because I ain't going back to bed. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I ain't going back to bed. And I was like, nah, I can't do it. 842-5376, our phone number, 842-KERN. Did I play all that E. Jean Carroll audio? I think I did. We played all the Biden audio, and we played Reid Hoffman. Played up pretty much all of our audio for the day. I just want to make sure I get that done. But I hope you'll be with us tomorrow when the Ag Secretary joins us. And I hope you guys will come in with some questions. That'd be kind of cool. It really would be. Let's go ahead and take our final break of the day a little bit early. We'll have a long segment to get out of here. We'll talk a little sports. Chris has got some interesting stats on, I didn't even know. They take a poll. We're not even at the All-Star break, and they're already talking about Cy Young Awards. We'll tell you where Shohei ranks thus far. Again, 6 hitless innings last night. I think they're being careful with him. I think as we get deeper into the season, they're going to let him go deeper into games. But if you remember, 2 nights ago, he got hit on the right hand. And this is why I hate 21st century baseball. Or I shouldn't say that. This is why I prefer 20th century baseball. Because in the 20th century, if you hit our $700 million player, even if it wasn't on purpose, we got to send a message. You hit my guy, and we're going to come after you. And I was hoping the Dodgers would do that, but they didn't. You know, go ask Wayne Gretzky. if you looked at Wayne Gretzky wrong, Marty McSorley or one of those guys would come in. What are you messing with Wayne? You messing with 99? Have you lost your mind? And that's the way the Dodgers, I think, after attack show. Hey, you can't let pitchers throw at our guy. What if he had broken his hand last night or the night before? Anybody comes anywhere near our $700 million player, I want one in their neck. Good googly moogly. So soft in the 21st century. Soft. Quick timeout. We're coming right back. Wrap this thing up. It's the Ralph Bailey Show on a weird, wet Thursday. Right here on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1230, where we're streaming live at kernradio.com.
Kern Radio, News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN. First Look with Scott Cox, morning 6 to 9 a.m.
On the Friday edition of the First Look program, the latest on the craziest story to come down the pike in a while, where an Amazon driver stole somebody's cat. We're going to get one of the money wise guys on to explain to me how GameStop thought they could buy eBay, plus news and traffic and weather. It's all happening 6 to 9 a.m. right here at News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230, KERN.
You know, Michael, one of the things people don't understand sometimes is all the work that goes into making these awesome commercials. You know, you and I are out here, we get to do all the fun stuff, talking it up, having a good time. There's a guy that sits over here behind his computer, Rocky. Now, this guy, there's a true talent. We're just a couple of knuckleheads with some voices. This guy really makes us sound good.
Truer words have never been spoken. I've known Rock for a lot of years, and he is like Mozart with that computer. He makes everyone sound better.
So with that being said, one of the ways you get so excited about Salty's Barbecue is because of the great work that Rocky does when he puts together these awesome spots. I'm going to let my good buddy Rocky just say a quick hello and a big thank you to him. So Rocky, here you go.
Thank you, gentlemen. I truly appreciate those kind words. And it is an absolute honor to be able to knock these commercials out for you guys. And yes, they are not exaggerating because these guys are a handful, to say the least.
You can find us at 9425 Rosedale Highway or 6801 White Lane. Or if you want, you can go to saltysbbq.com and order online. Salty's Barbecue and
We'll knock these out real quick.
Oh, yeah. This is the last break. I forgot. I didn't realize that. What did we do today?
Whenever you're ready.
Three, two. I've just never seen a family like the Bidens. Jill and Hunter should be ashamed of themselves. I'll ask you guys, if your family member, your dad, your husband was in the state that Joe Biden was in, could you push him out there? She claims that she thought he was having a stroke during the debate, and yet they continue to allow this man to try to attain the hardest job on the planet. They should all be ashamed of themselves. 3, 2. It's that man again. Look what's coming up on the Friday TRBS. We are extremely excited for our Friday broadcast. The Trump cabinet enters the Ralph Bailey Show. Secretary of the Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, will join us, along, of course, with Rick Bentley. All that plus me at 3. It's TRBS right here on Newstalk 96.1 and AM 1230. I'll see you at 3.
We do is when we represent sellers, we don't just put the transaction together. We do our homework and we check their FICO score, source of funds, where the money's coming from, and the job stability. Because what we don't want is to get you into an escrow and the escrow falls out because we didn't do our homework.
With any sort of real estate need that you have, we can accommodate, whether it's residential, commercial, land, or multi-units. We have experience in all and can help you to a successful close.
The background that we have is I was a lender for 5 years. And so I learned quite a bit as far as how to keep a transaction together. We don't just put it together and hope that it closes escrow. Nothing's 100%, but we do stack it in your favor.
With any needs or questions with real estate, give us a call at 661-410-7355 or visit our website at www.teambusby.com.
Don't let biased algorithms or degree screens or exclusive professional networks or stereotypes. Don't let anything keep you from discovering the half of the workforce who are stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time to tear the paper ceiling and see the stars beyond it. Find out how you can make stars part of your talent strategy at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Hey folks, Scott Cox here, host of the First Look with Scott Cox radio program. You are listening to the Ralph Bailey Show right here on News Talk 96.1 and AM 1230 KERN.
Eight four two 5376 842 KER. And I've just got some crazy audio I want to play you guys. I've just got some miscellaneous stuff that I have acquired on my own. This is Joy Behar, who I used to love as a young comedian. She was actually very, very funny. And she was on a couple of sitcoms, etc. But now she's become part of the woke movement. And she wanted to chime in on, of all things, Jackson Dart, the New York Giants starting quarterback who introduced the President of the United States. Listen to this woman.
Dart's open political endorsement. I mean, isn't he entitled to his...
It's America.
I mean, he's entitled to his thing.
For somebody to back a guy like Trump, whose history in discrimination and racism goes back to housing discrimination.
In the 70s.
In the 70s, DEI attacks, and posting pictures of the Obamas as apes. When he's on a team that's 55% to 60% the NFL is that many people, that much percentage of black people, that is just the definition of stupidity and racist.
She's calling Jackson Dart a racist for introducing the President of the United States because his black teammates would be sensitive to that. And do you see why it's so destructive that black people are the only group of humans that you could say, generally speaking, they would be offended by Trump or a Republican? Can't say that about Asians, because Asians vote Republican and Democrat. You can't say that about Mexicans, because they vote Republican and Democrat. You can't say that about white folks, because they vote Democrat and Republican. But black folks, where are we now? We've dropped to maybe 85, 90%. The only group of humans on the planet that have been taken advantage of and taken for granted by one party since the 1960s. And we've yet to learn that it's just common sense, if not political sense, to go across the street and, as Dr. King said, see what the other fellow's selling. Imagine what the Democratic Party would do for black folks if tomorrow we just said, well, we're Republicans. They would have to bust their hump to win back our vote. But now, as Ed Koch said in 1988, when I was sitting in a booth next to him, and the whole Democratic National Convention was concerned that Jesse Jackson was going to take his 350 delegates and walk back to Chicago, leaving Michael Dukakis unable to get to the number needed to get to the nomination. Ed Koch said to a group of Democratic people in the booth next to me that I was eavesdropping on, don't worry about Jesse. Where are they going to go? That was the beginning of the end of my being involved with the Democratic Party. I think that was the first domino to fall in me saying, I need to get the hell out of this party. Where are they going to go? Don't worry about Jesse. Just ignore him. Where are they going? They're going to vote for George Walker, Herbert Walker Bush? Really? We are the only group of human beings that the white elite establishment of the Democratic Party just knows is going to show up for us. We don't have to go to those communities. We don't have to go to Jordan Downs. We don't have to go to South Central. We don't have to go to Linwood. Why? Who are they going to vote for? 90% of them are going to vote for us, so why should we do a damn thing for them? It's just absolutely amazing to me. And that this lady, Joy Behar, can say it's tone deaf. If you're going to go into a room full of black people, they certainly didn't vote for Trump. You can't say that about any other group, can you? Could you say that about Asians? Could you say that about Mexicans? Could you say that about white folks? No. No. We're the only group on this vast planet of ours who you can say Yeah, about 85, 9% of them going to vote. About 8, 9, 10 of 8 out of 9, 10 of them are going to vote for a Democrat. Yeah, that's pretty much. This is Bailey, Michael Bowers, a couple others, but other than that, most of them going to vote for a Democrat. It's crazy. This is kind of funny. I love this. Have you heard about this story about the one-armed woman?
We're talking about the one with the cop?
Yeah.
Yes, love this.
So we have court tomorrow for driving with a device in our right hand, but they just sent me the body cam footage, so I thought you guys might like a little treat before tomorrow.
So the woman does not have a right hand. Check this out.
Hello, ma'am.
This is down in Florida.
I'm never really solid with Palm County Sheriff's Office. Mr. Wade being pulled over in the city of Lake Worth today. We're doing an operation for distracted driver, and you drove past me holding the phone with your right hand, manipulating that phone. I mean, I saw you with your phone in your hand.
So you want to just call this a day?
I don't want to call it a day. You had a hand manipulating.
You just said my right hand.
Well, I thought I saw you with your right hand. You
So
had a
you
hand
did.
out. The right hand. I saw you
So you
manipulate.
didn't.
With the right hand, perhaps not, right? But I saw you
didn't see me with my right
Okay,
hand.
so are you
You're saying that you saw me with my
I know
right
what I
hand.
just said. I know what I just said. I'm asking you now. Did you not have your phone in your hand?
I did not.
You did not have your phone in
I
your
did
hand.
not.
Hand to God, you don't have phone in your hand.
Hand to God.
The other hand to God, you don't have phone in your hand.
Hand to God.
Cool. You have your driver's license, registration,
Yes, I
insurance.
do. So we have
I'm sorry. I know I'm getting a phone call from Donnie Youngblood, and the new police chief doesn't know me well enough to call me. But cops are stupid. Cops are stupid. Not all cops, obviously. They're stupid radio talk show hosts. In fact, well, anyway. But not all talk show hosts are stupid. But cops are stupid. She did not have a right hand. So he manufactured this charge. And then did you hear at the end how he told her, hand to God, you didn't do this? What are you, stupid? What if she's an atheist? What if she's a Muslim? And then she holds up her stub hand. And did you hear what he said? He says, no, the other hand. So she holds up her left hand. Hand to God, I didn't do it. Okay, go ahead. And he's insisting that he saw her with the phone in the right hand. But there is no right hand. I just thought that was hilarious. And it just, no, cops are not stupid. I know a lot of intelligent cops. I'm friends with a lot of cops. Donnie Youngblood, obviously, is a very intelligent man. Greg Terry is a very intelligent man. I'm very good friends with Greg Williamson, another very intelligent police officer. Yeah, it was a stupid thing to say, but it was deep down in my, no, I just think that everybody's stupid in any industry. There are stupid people in the industry. So let me get that off the show. Do I have anything else that I wanted to play for you before we get out of here? I can play this. Oh, I got to play this. Black people are going to be mad at me. Chiefs fans are going to be mad at me. Have you heard Jamal Charles from the draft?
I have not.
I don't know why the Hunt family did this, but Jamal Charles is another product of college football, and he doesn't know how to read. Now, remember, when you hear this audio, Jamal Charles played for the Chiefs, right? And what team is it? What team did he play for? Kansas City?
Kansas City. Yeah.
What are they called?
The Chiefs, yeah.
What?
The Kansas City Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Yeah, the red and ugly red and yellow ones.
Okay, well, here's Jamal Charles.
I'm happy to be here with a back-to-back Kansas City Chief. It's a trade. The San Francisco.
Oh, my phone died. My phone died because I didn't. Where's the damn charger? Where is our charger? Oh, here it is, but it's not looped through. My phone died. Well, anyway, I'm glad it died actually because I shouldn't have played that. Where he calls them the Chief, and he can't read, and he's like, in the '69 draft, '69 chart. It's just, it is amazing. Amazing audio. And why they would send him up there. I mean, he played for the team. He didn't even know to call them the Chiefs. He kept saying, and he says it 2 more times before my phone died. Well, here, it's back up. Let me see if I can pull it up one more time after I said I wouldn't. The chief. It's so bad, it's comical. Hang on, my phone is doing whatever the hell it wants as it tries to charge. And this guy made millions of dollars as a running back in the NFL. Listen to this. I got it.
Back-to-back Kansas City Chief is a trade. The San Francisco 49ers have traded in 63 picks of Kansas City Chief. With the 63 pick in the 24 draft, Kansas City select Kinsley Suamaiya from BYU tackle. Let's go Chief!
Let's go Chief!
This is where they really got to stop having these special guest
I'm
announcers.
telling you. That was
stop.
2 years ago. That wasn't this year's draft. That was.
Oh, okay. I thought that was this year's.
No,
I missed
24.
this one. What the heck?
Yeah, I missed that too. That can't happen. That just can't happen. It really can't. Just kind of summarizing our top stories of the day. There is a tentative deal between Iran and the United States. However, there is no deal. The president has not signed off on it. Scott Bessent, I think it's pronounced Bessent, the Secretary of Treasury, took his turn as a cabinet member filling in for Carolyn Levitt, the press secretary who's out on maternity leave. She just had her second child. And it was first, I think it was Marco Rubio first, then it was J.D. Vance. It'll be interesting to see. Are you taking any bets on who's next? I'm guessing Doug Burgum. He's the most high profile. They never go with Hegseth. They couldn't have Hegseth come in there. Yeah, I'm guessing Doug Burgum. We'll ask Brooke Rollins, will she get a chance as Secretary of the Agriculture, who'll be our guest tomorrow, so I hope you'll join us. But that's the top story of the day, and I believe there's going to be a 60-day ceasefire. There'll be talks of moving the uranium, but I don't think that the Iranians are going to give that up. I just can't see it. I can't see the IRGC. We got a great explanation. I hope you heard the audio. If you didn't, we're on YouTube, so you can go back and listen to the top of the show. But what Scott Bessent said was there are three factions within the Iranian situation. There's the elected officials, which are kind of like the puppets. Then there's the clerics, which are kind of the zealots. And then there's the IRGC, the junta, that actually runs the country, because they're the guys with the guns. And they're the ones that have killed literally tens of thousands of Iranian citizens, which makes them unable to deal with. How do you negotiate with leaders that don't give a damn about their own people? That's going to do it for us. I want to thank Stephanie Peace and Samantha Loya from the Hey There Delilah Foundation. Their golf tournament is on Monday. There are 2 teams left. If you still want to get involved, and you can get the number on YouTube. Just go back to the about an hour ago on the broadcast when Stephanie and Samantha were on. And we bid adieu to Mike Turnipseed, although I bet he shows up next Thursday. He's allegedly on vacation. We've thought that for the last 2 weeks. And our money man, Daniel Petrie. And again, tomorrow on a Friday, Rick Bentley at 3:30. And the Secretary of Agriculture, Brooke Rollins, joins the broadcast. And again, Kathy Abernathy is sitting in on Monday, so be kind to Kathy. But in the meantime, for Chris Burdick, I'm Ralph Bailey. That's what's really going on. I'll wrap to you tomorrow.
Kern Radio, AM 1230, KERN. 96.1 FM, K241CI, Bakersfield, an American General Media station.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm John Scott. There's been a deadly blaze in Dallas. Fire Rescue Assistant Chief James Ross tells reporters they're looking for potential victims at a 5-alarm fire that started with a call for a gas leak.
The fire is contained, but our members are still working on the scene to do primary searches. We put a drone in the air to canvass the area to see if we have any, if we see any victims or anything around. Once we get more information, we'll let you know. But at this time, there's unknown how many possible fatalities we may have. And also we have 4 people transported to the hospital in unknown conditions at this time.
And there is still no word on the number of fatalities. Rescuers trying to reach 4 climbers who fell on Alaska's Mount McKinley, North America's tallest peak.
The National Park Service said the climber's conditions weren't immediately known following the fall, which was reported to Denali National Park and reserve rangers overnight. The rangers were seeking a weather window to allow them to reach the area by helicopter. The number of uninsured Americans is growing in the United States.
According to the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the number of uninsured grew by about 800,000 people in 2025, and the Congressional Budget Office estimates that 10 million more low-income Americans could lose their Medicaid coverage because of changes passed into law last year. The healthcare research nonprofit KFF says 5 million fewer people are expected to enroll in marketplace health programs in 2026 because of this year's expiration of Affordable Care Act subsidies, which had lowered premiums. The Trump administration